Welcome to the third edition of the Redline. I, of course, am your host, Donovan Sharp. Of course, joining me tonight are the two regulars, Steve the Dean Williams and Rollo Tomasi, the godfather of the Manosphere. How you guys doing today, man?
Good. I'm still sleep deprived from Orlando.
Oh, yeah. So you will see, luckily for me, I'm not, because you're obviously back in Nevada.
Yeah.
Which is very, very good. But I was able to stay on the West Coast. Steve, how you feeling, man?
Man, I'm chilling, man. Back home as well, brother.
Good shit, man. It was good to see you both. Good to finally meet Steve the Dean in person. We had a great time. Had an unbelievable dinner. It was fucking crazy.
Yeah.
But some pretty big news just happened. For those of you who are not in the know, one of the 3 R's of the Manosphere has been taken down. And area code 740, I see you on the line. We're going to get to you in just a second. But one of the 3 R's of the Manosphere got taken down. There's Royce, there's Roosh, and then there's Rollo. Royce, who was of Chateaux Hartiste, that site was taken down. So Rollo, what can you tell us about what's going on there?
Yeah, you need to. I'm glad we have this show right when we have it. Now, I've just become aware of this about like 2 hours ago. So you'll have to, bear with me a little bit. I don't know all of the details just yet, but if you go to Hartiste's blog, if you go to the site right now, it's down. It's got the window up there, the picture up there, just saying that the blog has been removed. It is due to a violation, a terms of service violation, and it's gone. And that's kind of a big shakeup in the Manosphere, I think, because Hartiste is probably the #1 blog that people associate with the Red Pill, or they associate with the Manosphere.
Yep.
He's been around since 2006. I should also throw a little bit of history out here. I have known Royce for at least, since I think I started talking to Royce right around 2007, 2008. And, we traded links, and I've credited him in both in my first 2 books anyways, in the accreditations. And just really, really weird, because this is WordPress that's doing this. And so the blog's been around for like about 13 years now. It ceased to be Royce in DC back in 2009 because Royce himself got doxxed by a commenter, and apparently he has some sort of government job and was about to just shit can the whole blog. But then this is the rumor. The rumor is that it was taken over by 2 or 3, possibly 4 other bloggers who write with a very similar style to him. And so if you've read anything, particularly from like the old days, from like 06 up through like 2010, somewhere around there, there's a certain feel and a certain style that Royce had, and has always been very rock solid game, up until about like 2009. And then right around 2009, 2010, it really shifted to way more political, way more racial.
White nationalist.
White nationalist. Still, very anti-liberal, but almost militantly so. And I don't know. I think right now we live in some dangerous times, and we just saw Paul Joseph Watson get banned. We saw Laura Loomer get banned. We saw Roosh just a couple days ago. Roosh lost I think he lost 2 of his payment processors for his tickets for his upcoming world tour. And so now he's got to scramble to find something else to get paid, and find something else how to do whatever it is that he wants to do. But right now, we're looking at Facebook banning all these people, and it's big tech, and I think they're really kind of going for the low-hanging fruit right now. Because it's easy to ban these people. It's easy to ban. Paul Joseph Watson is a big scalp, I think, for like Facebook/Instagram, because they both own the same company. But it's getting sketchy right now, and this is only 2019. We're not into the election cycle proper yet, and right. I think what they're doing, what big tech is doing right now, is they're stretching they're flexing their muscles here to show you that what they can and they can't do. And I've always had a fear, and that's why I'm a little shook up right now, because I've always had a fear that WordPress and maybe Blogger and some of these more free blogs that a lot of people depend on, because it's just free, it's freedom of speech, right? You can go and you put what you want to on your blog, whether it's a mommy blog or whatever, a red pill blog. You had some, some outlet, I guess. And just to think that it can just be like completely erased tomorrow is kind of a scary thought, particularly since my blog's been around since 2011.
Yeah.
And I have a lot of stuff on there. So as soon as I heard this, I went and made an immediate backup. And I am on WordPress, and I always thought of WordPress as being very, I won't say tolerant, but very sort of hands off when it comes to stuff like this. But I think I'm fairly sure that there's a list of some sorts that the SPLC is circulating right now. So Southern Poverty Law Center. That's the group that everybody sort of looks to, like in big tech, to say, okay, who's a hate group and who's not a hate group. And I know for a fact that Roosh is on that list. I'm fairly certain that probably Royce was on that list.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I hope I'm not on that list, but I probably am, just because I'm in the Manosphere, and it's possible that everybody in, the 21 convention is as well. So
I think that anytime you bring in, I don't want to say anytime you bring in race, because, and I want to be careful here, because I talk about race every so often on my show, but my show isn't centered around race. Every once in a while, I'll talk about how race affects, how the red pill affects different races of men in certain ways. Sometimes I'll talk about uncomfortable truths about white people versus black people versus white people, et cetera, et cetera. But when you get, and again, Chateaux Hartiste, man, he's actually one of the guys that I used to read when I first found the red pill. I found the red pill in July. This is interesting. Now, I don't even know at this point if I've ever really read the real Royce, because I discovered I discovered the red pill in July of 2010. So according to your timeline, he apparently had not. He had been,
Well, here's the other rumor. You might have been reading him still, because rumor has it that he is one of the 3 bloggers that are contributing to that blog right now. I would say, gosh, I don't know, man. I'm just speculating here, but like every time he'll write something about game or something about intersexual dynamics, it sounds like the old Royce.
Sure.
But I don't know. Maybe I'm being fooled. But
I don't know. Either that, or they're very, very good imitative writers, man.
Yeah.
Listen, man.
Dangerous times,
man. Like this is how it is, and we talk about this all the time. It's gonna. You just wait, man. You wait when we have the 21 convention in 2020. Listen, guess what, man? We're almost in the election cycle, man. Like, it's not gonna be long before shit starts to get turned up. And I mean, listen, we've actually talked about this. If you're a red pill guy, you automatically get grouped in with white nationalists, right? You get grouped in with these incel guys, and what the mainstream media has tried to do. And I read that hit piece that was, and I forget, it was actually the hit piece that me and one of the other guys sort of got into it about. And he sort of said, hey, we need to change the message and we need to talk positively about women. And him and I went back and forth about that. But when you read that article, you can see where they marry the red pill with everything else. If you're a red pill guy, you're a white nationalist. Sure. If you're a red pill guy, you're anti-black. And listen, I'm a red pill guy, but I'm African American, right? So what is that? Yeah. So they're not interested really in the truth. They want to they want to put us all in a group, so that then they can then tell the SPLC, hey, this guy Donovan Sharp is part of a hate group. He was black. It doesn't matter. He's a red pill guy, and these red pill guys are white nationalists.
Yeah, I've always said that. I've always said that the red pill needs to stay amoral, apolitical, racial, religious, because as soon as you pair it up with one of those ideologies, it becomes that ideology. People will wipe it off on that. And now we're starting to see that, because people have been making the red pill as their sort of little pet brand, because it was like sort of this unclaimed little jewel that anybody could, well, I'm red pill because what I believe is true, right? That's all it takes. And now we're starting to see, I think what you're going to see soon is people are going to start disowning the red pill, because they don't want to get caught in the sweeps.
Right.
They don't want to get deplatformed, because YouTube has changed its algorithm to look for the terms, manosphere, MGTOW, red pill, whatever, alpha, beta, hypergamy, whatever. That will be the next thing. And so people will start distancing themselves from it, even though they are the ones who've been using it, like such as MRAs and the men's rights movement, sort of appropriating it as their brand. And then as soon as there's, a shooter who said he was red pill, then they're just going to throw people like you and me under the bus. Like, oh, we're not really red pill. It's those guys who are red pill. But you guys own that term now. So that's you guys. That's on you. But you'll see who actually owns it and who doesn't. But I've always been, my policy is this on the Rational Male. I never talk about race. I never talk about politics. I never talk about religion unless it crosses over into intersexual dynamics. Right. Then all bets are off. I'll talk about it, and because I think it needs to be, you can't be limited to those things. But I never talk directly about race. I never talk about nationalism. I grew up in inner city Los Angeles, so
right, exactly.
Yeah, it's kind of like I get it, and I'm also, and I had to be a little careful with my choice of words back when I did the State of the Manosphere address back in October, because I'm using a term on it. I think that one of the strengths of the Manosphere is the diversity in the Manosphere. Right. It's we have Black guys, we got Asian guys, we got Hispanic guys, we have everybody from all across the world. That they're all men, and the one thing that unites us is that we're all men. We all understand, masculinity. We have we have shared experiences, and we compare notes. That's one of the reasons why my books are effective, is because everybody can come together and just say, "Hey, this is what I'm seeing in, Mumbai or wherever South Africa, wherever I am." And I think that is a big strength. But I think that people who are really sort of nationalistic don't see diversity as a strength. I do. I just think it definitely gets abused, I think, by the liberal side of things. But yeah,
I think it gets bastardized.
Yeah.
Tonight we're going to talk about the difference between shit tests and disrespect. But before we do that, let's go ahead. I'm actually going to bring on the caller here. Area code 740. You're on live with the Redline. Go ahead.
Hey guys, thanks for taking my call.
Of course.
Hey.
Yeah, so going on for tonight's topic, what's your guys' opinion on if this is a shit test or disrespect on, girls flaking out on you last minute when you set something up with them, getting that text 1, 2, 3 hours beforehand. And we all know it's kind of like a bullshit reason. And Rollo, you're always talking about, you want to be with girls who have that genuine desire. Mm-hmm. So my question is, do you guys think, it could be a shit test, but do you think that it's also disrespect and you should just right away next her? Not that to sound like Mr. Alpha Man, but just because of someone who values your own time.
I'll actually go first on.
You don't really want to deal with these
I'll
type of girls.
I'll go first on this one, irregardless of whether or not her flaking on a date is a shit test or disrespect. If it's the first date and if she flakes on you, it doesn't matter whether it's a shit test or not, right? She's got to go. Now, I can actually, I can actually equate the two here. A shit test in this regard would be a girl texting or calling you and saying, "Hey, area code 740, I know we're supposed to meet up tonight at 9, but I made plans with my girlfriends. Can we meet up tomorrow at 4 in the afternoon? That would work better for me." That is a shit test, right? And the way to pass that shit test is to say, "No, tonight at 9. That's it, right? The way to fail the shit test is to say, "Okay, well, I'll just go ahead and meet up with you tomorrow at 4 p.m. That is the shit test version. The disrespectful version of that particular shit test is her flaking. Flaking is not a shit test. Flaking is outright disrespect. And if she's outright disrespecting you, then she's got to go. That's all there is to it. That's what it comes down to. So again, the difference in this regard between a shit test and and disrespect is a shit test is it tests your manhood. Disrespect insults your manhood, because if she had any respect for you, she wouldn't just flake on you, right? But sometimes girls unconsciously shit test. Sometimes they'll shit test you and they don't know they're shit testing you, right? Maybe they really did have plans with their girlfriend, but because you didn't budge, because you didn't say okay, because you didn't acquiesce to her change, she said, "You know what? I think I'm going to cancel my plans with my girlfriends, because finally a guy who isn't going to take no for an answer, a guy who's not going to let me change plans." What are your thoughts, Rollo?
Oh, okay. Steve, you want to jump in on this?
Yeah, go ahead, Steve.
No, I'm glad you roll. Go ahead. I got you.
Okay. I was just gonna say. Okay, a couple of things. First is that there are two different kinds of shit tests. Okay.
Right.
The first kind of shit test is active shit test, and the second time, of course, is a passive shit test. Active shit test is when you are already, say, in the club and you're playing with the girl and you're running like amuse mastery, or you're running cocky funny, or you're running like, oh, the stereotypical neg hits and all that kind of stuff. Okay. That's when you are doing that sort of back and forth with that playful banter. She's trying to test you to see if you are who you actually, or who she thinks you're presenting yourself as. That's a fitness test in trying to determine authenticity in you. Like to see if you are really presenting yourself as the alpha that she's hoping you will be. Right. That's all shit tests are based in hypergamy. All of them are autonomous. Women, all of them are autonomous. It's not to say that women don't know when they're doing it. They do. But for the most part, it's something that happens subconsciously. Women will shit test men at just as subconsciously as a man will stare at big boobs, because what men are looking for is they're looking for sexual vibe. They're looking for sexual availability, and they're looking for like physical fitness. So it's like, even when you're when a woman, why do you think women like show off their boobs all the time, with cleavage and all that kind of stuff? It's because that's what they're displaying. That's what they're advertising. They're advertising sexual availability. That's active shit testing. The passive kind is what we talked about this morning on Pat Campbell's show, which is nagging. When are you going to do this? Are you, what passive shit tests are is it's sort of always an ongoing shit test. Like, are you the best that I could do? Usually passive shit tests come after you're already in a long-term relationship. So what you're asking here, though, I just wanted to clarify terms, because we're probably going to talk about this for the rest of the night when it comes to what is a shit test and what is not, and what is disrespect. You can't, I think a lot of guys overestimate what is a shit test and what is not a shit test. Particularly beta guys. I'm not saying you're beta, but a lot of beta guys will, they'll hear about the red pill, they'll read about it, they'll figure out this is what the pickup artist said is a shit test. And so they'll try to look for anything that a woman throws at them as a shit test. And so they sort of overestimate what that woman is actually doing, when in fact she's just simply disinterested. Right. Like if a woman is not interested, if a woman is not interested in you, she's not going to give you a shit test. When she's going to disrespect you. Yeah, if she is indifferent to you, that's not a shit test. She's indifferent to you is what it is. Right. And if she agrees to a date or whatever, and then she flakes out on that date, get used to that, because that's probably going to happen. Women are far more flaky these days because everything is immediate for them. Social media has an immediacy that we've never had in any era prior to this. So if she promises to go out with you at 8 o'clock on a Friday night, and her girlfriends say, hey, we're going to the club and these other guys are going to be there, come on out. And you might have everything set up, and then like literally an hour beforehand, she says, oh, I'm not going to be able to make it. Sorry, blah, 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 whatever. Excuse. That just says to me that there is a lack of interest there, because you are not her first priority. Her first priority is the best, most immediate thing that she has going on for herself. That's not to say all women are just like these flaky, flighty, indifferent bitches or anything like that. It's just that depending on her level of interest with you, where do you think you fit in the hierarchy of her priorities? So are you going to get bumped down a notch because her girlfriend said, hey, we're going to go out to the club this evening, when she didn't realize she was going to? She's going to take whatever she sees as the most optimal situation when it comes to like spending her leisure time or going out, unless you are like, it's a really good fit. She sees you as alpha. She really wants to see you. She's going to put off her girlfriends to go out with you. So it's like, where do you fit into that hierarchy of priorities for her? So is it disrespect? Sure, it's disrespect. It's disrespectful because she's not respecting the fact that you guys had plans prior to that, but there's no consequences for her. And I'm going to leave this one open for Steve, because I know he's going to talk about consequences here in just a second. But is that disrespect? Yes, I would say that's disrespect. It's disrespect because she led you to believe that you have a higher priority to her than she actually has. So I think I want to leave anybody who's listening to this. I want to leave you with the impression that there's a difference between shit testing and just outright indifference or outright women will date a guy just to go get a free dinner.
Sure.
I mean, let's and not all women will do that, but like a lot of women will do that. Okay, women have the option to do that. Let's just say, okay, and if they're not doing anything on what the fuck are you doing?
there's a big fucking bug flying around my goddamn studio. I got the slider. I'm trying to smack him. Continue. You're gonna hear a big wallop here in a minute. Hang on.
Yeah, okay. Anyways, I just want to leave everybody with the idea here that there's a difference between indifference, disrespect, and a shit test. And I think a lot of particularly beta guys think that they get into this habit of thinking that because a woman canceled on them on a date, that's a shit test. Like she's trying to, she really does like me after all, so she's just trying to see if I'll pursue. No, especially if it's a first date, you just hang it up. Really, you're done with that. Just simply don't deal with that. Your time is valuable, and I'm just going to set this one up I'm going to do a layup here for Steve. Your time is valuable, and you are the prince. So does a prince wait around for for a woman to offer a offer a counter offer? I don't know. I don't think you should take counter offers in that situation. A lot of guys do. A lot of guys think, well, you want to get the lay or whatever. Okay, well, I mean, if that's all you're about, fine. But I wouldn't take a counter offer in that situation because it just says to me that there was unless her mom died or something like that.
Even you don't really know that that's the truth.
Yeah. So I would say that is definitely disrespect, and
especially on the first date.
And if you tolerate it, that you might as well just kiss that whole thing goodbye.
Steve, what are your thoughts?
All right, Carl, I'm gonna take it on the other side of the spectrum. How long have you known her for?
This is just in general. This is just like when you're out and about, meeting girls, getting numbers, and then like later on, a few days later.
That's right.
So this is
that's strike one right there, and I'm just taking on the other spectrum. See, you guys understand when you are getting a woman's number, you are showing her that you don't have any game and that you're weak because you want to run behind her and keep calling her and texting her. A man that gets women is going to present himself in a way you call me because it's about me. That's strike one. But if you're going in general, let me explain something to a lot of you guys out there. The problem with a lot of you guys out there, you take shit testing and disrespect and you'll try to lump that in as an excuse for maybe not looking at the first domino.
Ooh.
The thing about a lot of you guys that we try to push on you guys is to be something that a lot of women are not, and that is accountable and making it all on you. It's all about you and what you do, and responsible. Excuse me. The problem with y'all guys out there when y'all meet women, you got to ask yourself the question: when you walked up to her, did you ever make her smile? Did you ever make her laugh? Did you ever make her blush? Did you ever make her think? Did you ever make her react? Half the time, the answer is no for all those things. So if she meets a Donovan or a Rollo walking down the street and she meets you guys, she's going to compare what you guys do compared to a Donovan and a Rollo. And then that's when Thursday night comes around and then she's asking herself, well, I have free time. Who do I want to go out with? Well, here it is. Donovan made me smile, laugh, blush, and think. Or I got Rollo that did the exact same thing. But when I met you, all you did was you looked down, you were nervous, you were stuttering, you didn't ask for what you want, you didn't make her smile, you didn't make her blush, you were throwing, I ain't gonna cuss, you were throwing stuff on the wall trying to make something stick. So she's gonna choose the best of her options. It's not the fact that she's disrespecting you or shit testing you, because you're not even in the game to be disrespected, shit tested. And that's what a lot of y'all guys go wrong. Y'all think these women automatically are into you when y'all are playing a position of defense, when you're allowing life to happen to you instead of manning up and being honest with her and letting her know what the deal is. So I don't see, and in general, not talking about you, I don't see it as a shit test or disrespect because you were never in the game, so to speak. She had, before she even thought about calling or texting you, she weighed out her options, and that is something a lot of you guys don't never do. You never ask yourself, did I hit those 5 things when I was talking to her? When I met her, did I tell her why I'm talking to her? When I met her, did I tell her what I wanted to do with her? And 9 times out of 10, the answer is no, because real guys are going to be honest, transparent, and impactful with these women. So at the end of the day, this is that question you're having, to me, is not really about shit testing and disrespect. To me, it's about the first domino with you guys of how you approach these women, because all you guys are under this impression that all that your approach or your sidebar approaches are unique and special. But what you got to understand is she's met Donovan before, she's met Rollo before, she's met me before, and she's met all you guys before. So she automatically knows the difference between us and the majority of you guys by how much confidence you have in yourself.
Well said, Steve. And I'll add this before we go to area code 801 here. I think Rollo gave us that third category, right? So you meet a girl, you get her number for the first time, and okay, she flaked on me. Is that a shit test? Well, is that a shit test or disrespect? Steve hit it right on the head. It can't really be disrespect because she doesn't really know you. Right? She can't respect or disrespect her time because she doesn't really know how valuable your time really is. By the same token, she can't really be shit testing you because she's trying to flake on the date. So there's a third category here. The answer to that guy's question, well, is it a shit test or disrespect if she flakes on the first date? Well, the answer is what both Rollo and Steve said. You're seeing the first domino fall. What Steve said and what Rollo said is it's indifferent. She doesn't give a shit about you. So if you're calling, so again, we're going to give you tough love. If you're calling the show asking, hey, if a girl is flaking on a first date, is that a shit test or disrespect? I forget which one of you said. You're using that as sort of an excuse to stay in the game. Well, maybe she's just shit testing me. If she is shit testing you, she asks you to change plans. Hey, can we go to a different restaurant? Can we meet a different day, different time? She asks you. That is a shit test. When she tells you, hey, sorry, can't make it, XYZ, ABC, whatever her excuse is, that's not disrespect. That's just her being flat out not interested in you. Let's go to the next caller. Let's go to area code 801. Thanks for holding. You're on live with the Redline. Go ahead.
Hey, thank you, Donovan. I actually had the same thing happen that you were just talking about where, so I had a girl, I met her at Starbucks like a week ago, went on like an instant date. I'm not like a pimp or anything, right? But I did okay. And I went on a date with her last night. And before that, she did the same thing where she's like, hey, can we do a different day? And she's like, let's go Wednesday instead. And I was like, sorry,
hold on.
I'm busy.
Okay, you said, sorry, you're busy. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, and because I wasn't going to acquiesce. I mean, I kind of smelled that it was a shit test.
Sure.
And I was like, I don't even know her, so whatever. And so, and then she tried switching the days a few times. I was like, look, I'm available this day or this day. Take your pick. And so, so she kind of got like a choice, and she chose a day. And then, so I met her up, and we start hanging out. And then she asked me to hold her purse, and I tell her like,
oh hell,
sorry, no.
That's a shit test.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and I could tell she was into me. So like, so she sets it down on the ground. She like takes off her sweater, like makes her hair all cute or whatever, and like picks it up off the ground. No big deal. And we're having a great conversation. And then as we're doing that, I'm like, I gotta go take a leak. And she's like, okay. I go take a leak. I come back, and there's this dude who's like sitting in the corner. He was kind of like, I don't know, give me weird looks or whatever. But I think it was because like I was like a red pill aware man, and he was like a Vici male or whatever.
Okay.
And I get out of the bathroom, and she's over there sitting next to this dude. And was that just blatant disrespect? Like,
yes.
Should I never talk to her again? Or was that
yeah. That's dude. That's disrespect. So wait, so let me get this straight. So
Yeah.
where were you guys when this happened?
So we were just at like a little local tea house. Like
okay, all right, stop right there.
Starbucks.
Okay. Did you guys meet there together? Was that were you guys on a date? Were you guys there meeting with each other? So you guys entered the building together and met there?
Yeah. So this was like
wait, hold on, stop it.
later
Listen,
after I took
no.
on
I don't need all those details. So you guys meet up at this tea house, right? You guys are there with each other, it is presumed. You go to the bathroom to take a leak, and now she's sitting next to this Vici male.
Yeah.
Okay, there's something you're not being honest about. Like you're leaving something out.
Donovan, don't. I'm waiting. Now you doing a Rollo on me.
Give me a second. Give me a second. Something's not adding up. You don't go to the bathroom to take a leak. You said this girl seems into you. If the girl is into you and you go to the bathroom to take a leak and she's sitting next, did she know this guy?
So no. So I have no idea.
I think you do know, but listen, hold on. This something's not adding up. Tell me, fill in the blanks for me. What happened before you came out of the bathroom? What happened when you saw her sitting next to this guy? Like, did you go over there and get her? What happened after that?
Okay, so the purse thing happened, and then after that happened, I was like, I got to go take a piss. So I went to take a piss, and I literally like swear on everything. Like I came out, and she's sitting next to this. Like she had moved, and she was sitting next to this dude, and I didn't know what the fuck to do. So I was kind of like, do I go back to where we were, or do I sit down? And so I probably felt I fucked up. I sat next to them, and then I was like, fuck, I should just get up and leave. But at that point, it was kind of too late.
So what happened after that? Did you go home with her? Did you go home? Did she go home with that guy? Like, what happened?
So after that, that dude, he talked for a few seconds, and he tried to be like an AMOG. Like he was like, oh yeah, I'm a pro longboarder or some shit. And she was like, oh. And then
time out.
Like,
time out. So hold on. How tall was the guy?
Honestly, he was sitting down, so I couldn't say.
Was he a good-looking guy? Just be honest. Was he a good-looking guy? What was his build like? Because you described him as a Vici male, but then he described himself as a longboarder. I don't think the two equate.
Yeah, so I was actually bigger than him. I've been going to the gym for years. I was like more muscular, but he had like dreadlocks and like he wasn't a bad-looking dude. Like he was just like had his own kind of style, kind of unique.
So why did she go over there and sit with this guy? You said she doesn't. You said she didn't know him.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to figure out. So, because like I passed like the like when she was messing with me with like the purse, but then she goes over there, and so I don't know.
All right, Steve, what questions you got, man?
Man. I usually tell you guys, do you want to lie? You want the truth? But since we're gonna punch you in the chest, let me ask you a question. Be honest with me. When you were talking to her at the dinner table, tell me what you were talking about.
Oh, okay. So she had like she's into rocks, and she brought like a collection of like rocks with her. Like she had some in her purse.
Strike one. Strike one. You're playing defense. And what else? What did you talk about?
Right before that. Actually, we were. I don't know if I should say this because of YouTube, but we're talking about recreational, like use.
So let me ask you this question: what does that have to do with her facing a pillow and her butt up in the air? This is why y'all. Let me explain something to you. And this is where y'all don't understand. This is why she went to the rock star guy, and this is what you need to understand. And this is what everybody needs to understand because we're about the truth on this show. The truth is that you were boring. That's the truth. There was nothing special about you. You allowed her to dictate the whole conversation. And when she gave you the opportunity to talk, you didn't talk about anything to show her.
Have you ever
why she should be with you, why she should sleep with you, why she should mess around with you, why the world should stop all around her and she just focuses on you. When you're talking about rock collections and I don't even know what the last thing you said, whatever you just said, I even forgot what you said. When you're talking about those things, they don't care. And honestly, you're lucky that she didn't go into the bathroom, call her girlfriend up and say, call me in 5 minutes and just tell me that my mom is sick so I can get out this date. This is what you guys need to understand. Just because you get a woman doesn't mean it's over yet. It is in this moment and in this time that you're in, young man, that's going to decide whether she is going to mess around with you or she's going to do what she did. And the reason she did what she did probably because the guy that came up to her, he didn't care about her rock collections. He didn't care what she was thinking. He was being assertive, transparent, clear and concise, and impactful. And when you're that way with a woman, you are going to sway her over to you. And then the worst part is when you walked over there and you did. I mean, what did you do when she was sitting next to that guy? What did you do? What did you say to her?
So I honestly was stunned. Like, I didn't know what to say. So I just was like, I kind of fucking just stood there for a second. Oh, sorry. And then,
but
like, okay.
But tell me, okay, right
down.
But tell me why. Give me your why, because as a man, I'm not going to allow anyone to disrespect me. And what you did was you allowed him to just put his finger in your food, and you're just standing there looking at them. If you just would have walked over there and looked at them and said, okay, have a good time, and walk away, I would give you kudos. But the fact that you're standing there reinforces the conversation that you had with her that she saw as very boring and just put her to sleep, man.
Had you fucked her? Have you fucked her? Have you ever fucked her?
No.
Yep.
No.
Yep.
No.
Yep. That's it. Yep.
He hasn't even touched. He hasn't even got a hug from her. What are you talking about, Rollo? You got it, man. What's your take, brother?
What you got, man?
Well, pretty much everything that you guys have been saying, right up to now. I want to know, just for sake of scientific research here, what did you do? Well, you didn't let him answer. What did you do when? Did you go? You went and sat down by him, and what was the conversation like once that happened? Did you ask her, "Hey, what the fuck?"
Yeah. So it was weird because it was going good up until then, and then or maybe that was just my perception. But
yes, that was your perception.
I sat down.
Yes, Donovan.
Okay, yeah. And I wasn't really giving her like any body language or anything. I just like kind of turned away and leaning back and like whatever. And then she started to kind of want my attention. And so then like the dude stopped talking to her. And so we went over to the table where we were at. And then after that, like I talked to her for a little bit and then we like made out and stuff. But I was so confused that I should have took her home and fucked her maybe, but I was so confused.
Dude, you were never going to take her home and fuck her. Like, that was never going to happen. And to be honest with you, the only reason why she made out with you is because that dude figured out that he didn't want to fuck her.
Yeah,
right?
She was conflicted.
Yep.
Yeah.
There you go. Rollo, what's your take on that?
I was gonna say it's okay. I wanted to hear what the response was after that, because it sounds to me like there's a couple things going on. First of all, she's not that into you. I would say, like, old school pickup artists would say her interest level was probably well below 80%. You going off to take a leak and coming back, and she's is that a shit test? I would say that's both. I would say it's a shit test and it's disrespectful. You can have a disrespectful shit test, obviously. But if she is saying that, you know, if you're there on a date and you're there with her exclusively, I mean, we can. I hate it when people like. I think like if you presented this scenario to like Dr. Phil or to some blue pill like relationship coach or, you know, some sexpert, right? If you were to present that to them, they would say, well, you needed to go and sit down with her and tell her that, you know, when a gentleman is with a lady, that his or her or his attention is at a premium or something like that, or that, you know, just try to like explain this to her rationally or something. And it does, in the moment, that shit does not work. No. So it's not about like, you know, open communication or any of that other stuff. And so you're left confused because she was in some way kind of leaning in to get this one guy's attention. And then when she saw that wasn't going to play out, she goes with plan B, and you're probably plan B from the very beginning. So I'm inclined to agree with the rest of these guys that you were never going to get laid in this, but you know, these are things you have to learn and sort of calibrate for and understand. You know, I think, of course, you know, what Steve is saying here is being your own man and understanding and reading these signs. But, you know, you have to learn to read this kind of shit, especially in this day and age. So I would say, you know, I wouldn't say it's a shit test so much as it was just her kind of like vacillating on whether she was going to get with you or she's going to get with somebody else. If there was a better option for her that night, she probably would have took it, but you were plan B and there wasn't. So that's why you're confused about this. Again, medium is the message. What is her behavior telling you when you come back and she's with some other dude? What does that behavior tell you?
I'll tell you what it tells me, caller. And here is what you don't know. Okay, here's what happened. She set up a date with the both of you, my man. That's what happened. She set up a date with the both of you. He came in. She knew when he came in, right? He came in, and when you went to take a leak, she went and sat with him. That is what happened, caller. There is no way on God's green earth that she didn't, that wasn't set up. You don't just go and sit with some random guy. Like, what could he have said to her in the 38 seconds it took for you to take a piss that would cause her to completely abandon her date with you and go with him?
Yeah,
exactly. Oh my God. Hey, Devin, come get Cooper. Devin, come get the dog. He's in the fucking studio. She's listening to the show. Yeah, This is what happened. Sorry about that, guys. This is what happens, caller. She set up a date with the two of you. Right? That's what that was. That wasn't a shit test, man. That was disrespect. She liked you enough to make you a plan B. That is the only way to explain why she was just sitting with someone else. This is why you're confused, right? And I knew something wasn't adding up. That's the answer. She set up a date with two dudes. Steve, I give you the floor.
I'm going to make, there's might be one more thing. And when I say this, the two of you guys are going to light up like Christmas trees. Maybe, just maybe, and I'm going to use my dog Rollo on this one. Maybe, just maybe, Rollo's over there, sitting over there typing his new Rational Male book, right? She wants his attention. She gets mad at him because she feels like he's not paying her enough attention. And then she says, well, you know what? I'm going to show you why I can get somebody. And what she does is she finds and hunts down somebody trying to make Rollo jealous. Rollo she knows. Matter of fact, Donovan, I bet she knew, and I'm using Rollo as an example, she knew Rollo goes, maybe gets a beer at this place. After he gets done typing, he'll go later on and get a beer at that place.
So she knew of him, just didn't know him yet.
Right.
I like it.
Right. She, and again, when he met him, she was trying to make Rollo jealous, but she didn't make Rollo jealous. I think she was already sleeping with the guy.
Ooh.
I think she was that guy.
He was on a date with old dude, and the dude that went to take a piss was the guy she was trying to use to make jealous.
Me trying to make, right.
That might be it.
Either way, and I've already let him go. Either way, she knew that guy. Whatever theory you want to believe, either way, she knew that guy before she walked into that little tea shop.
Yes.
Wow, that was a good one. Let's go to the next caller. Caller, looks like your number ends in 562. Looks like you're calling from outside the U.S. Go ahead. You're on with the red line.
Hi, is that me?
Yep.
Hey. I have a question. Is about my dad. I want to know about content, red pill content to older men, for them to be able to see their value and to date. My dad, he's 20. I'm sorry, my English is bad. He's 58, and he had a really, really bad date. So he see no values in himself. And now that I move out from the house, he's need companion. He's really sad right now, and I.
Hey, caller, let me ask you something. How old is?
Something.
How? Where are you from? What country are you in?
Brazil.
Okay, you're in Brazil. Gotcha. So your dad is 58 years old. Do you know how old the woman was that he took out on this date?
She was 38.
Okay, all right.
My dad, he's in shape. He's very beautiful, I think, but he has lupus, so his face is very red, and he has a little scars on his face. So he's self-conscious about that.
Sure.
And he told that to her beforehand, but she made comments about after when Joe rejected him, and now he thinks he's ugly, and no one who wants him except if it's for his money.
Okay.
And
so your dad's a wealthy guy. He's a man of means. He has money.
I'm sorry?
You said your dad is a man of wealth. He has money, a lot of money.
He does well for himself.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Rollo, I would actually just recommend that he go to therationalmale.com.
Yeah.
That's the first thing. The second thing that I would do if I were him, I would tell him to tune into this show and then tune into tomorrow's show at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for the Red Man Group.
Can I get a little more information about this guy real quick? Was he married before and now he's divorced?
Yeah, he got divorced about 10 years ago.
Okay. And was that from your mother?
She cheated on him, yes.
Oh, so she cheated on him as well? Okay. Let's get, see, yeah, so he's got the double whammy going there. Let's see. Is this the first the first date he's been on?
You guys' videos, and I see you guys talk a lot about dating without I don't know the word.
Single mothers?
Not to be boyfriend and girlfriend. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, exclusivity.
Okay.
Yeah.
But he doesn't want to do that. He thinks it's wrong to date only to have sex. He wants a relationship.
Mm-hmm.
He wouldn't, because he's older, he's more traditional in that sense.
Mm-hmm.
Well, not only that, he doesn't have much time, right?
Well, that's it. So he's
broke. He's 58. He's
he's 58. He's not interested. I'm just, you correct me if I'm wrong here, but in all likelihood, the guy, you said he has not had a date in 10 years. Is your mother cheated on him and left him or divorced him, let's say 10 years ago. So he would have been 48 then. How long were they married?
About 10 years.
So 38. Okay.
I don't talk to my mother anymore.
Mm-hmm. And wow, so 10 years. How old are you?
I'm 22.
So you're 22. So
no, we don't see each other so much. So
I'm just trying to do the math here. I don't see how you're 22.
I would take care of him, and he would take care of me, and now he wants
so let me ask you, caller. Hold on, caller. Let me ask you. So your father, who was divorced, that is your biological father, and the woman that cheated on him is your biological mother. So he is your father, she is your mother.
Yeah.
Okay. So he was. If you're 22. Then he would have been 14 years old. If I'm doing the math correctly, actually, he would have been 16 years old. How old is your mother?
My mother?
Yes, your mother.
They are the same age.
Okay, so she's 58 as well, right?
Yes.
Okay, so let's see, 58. Let me think. So they got married at 38, right? So they got married. They've been divorced for 10 years. Yeah, I would just recommend, caller, just send him to therationalmale.com. I would tell him also to tune into these shows and to go to all of our websites. Something was a little bit fishy there, but
yeah, my advice is this. I have a series of posts, and it's called The Reconstruction. Go look up those posts. And it's specifically written for your dad's situation. Go look up The Reconstruction, or you can just pick up my third book. It's in that third book as well. But it is specifically that series is specifically designed for guys like your dad. So
okay, good stuff. Area code 706. You're on live with the Red Line. Go ahead.
Hey, what's up, guys? How are y'all?
Doing good, man. How about you?
Doing good.
Okay, so I have a kind of a specific question, but I'm going to have to give you some context as to my situation so you kind of understand where it's coming from.
Let's do it.
So,
go for it.
I started reading red pill material about a year ago, and I've slowly but surely been changing my life. And my marriage was kind of in a really bad situation. Probably on the way out, but it ever since being red pilled, my wife actually, she comes from an abusive background, so she got into therapy and she started changing, and I started changing. So things are slowly but surely getting better. But anyways, I've just started noticing quite a bit of results from her behavior towards me from my change in behavior. And even her therapist has been encouraging her, noticing when she would tell her therapist about my behavior, her therapist would encourage her and say things like, "Oh, well, do you not see how much he loves you and he's changing his behavior, blah, blah, blah," so on and so forth. But anyways, so, you know, we're kind of both progressing in a positive direction. It's not great, but it's definitely going the better way at this point. But my question is this. She told me this morning, it's kind of funny to me, but she said, "I had a dream last night," and she said, "I had to choose between you and this really exciting guy."
Shit test.
And I just kind of looked at her with a smirk, and she said, "And I chose you." And I said, "You should have chose Mr. Exciting." And I kind of turned away. She said, No, wait. She said, "When you looked at me, you said there was no regret." And I just laughed and kind of chuckled it off, you know, went on. But I kind of have, I guess, my opinion of what I think she was saying, but I'm interested to know you guys' impression of that.
Yeah, that was a shit test. And another kind of shit testing women do is it's called a thirst test, right?
Yeah.
And the thirst test is to gauge how thirsty you are in that. Are you the only woman that they can see themselves with? They're testing you for the thirst and for the one-itis, right? So failing that particular shit test / thirst test would it be like, well, I hope you picked me. Here's another failure, which would have sounded like you passed. But I had a dream about two men or the exciting one. Well, obviously you made the right choice. No, that's failing the shit test, man, because that's assuming that she picked you. So you gotta watch out for those. I think she was gauging. I think she was probably gauging your thirst level. I remember reading a post, I think on Red Pill Women a long time ago, about a woman worrying about her I think she had some sort of a sickness or something, and she's like, yeah, you know, I could die and this and that and the other. Who the hell knows if she was telling the truth or not? But she said something. Yeah, I know that my husband would be fine without me. As a matter of fact, I know that he could get many women, and that makes me feel a lot better. Right. So basically what she's saying is that I like the fact that I know that other women would sleep with my husband or my boyfriend, or whoever the hell it was. That to me, like I said, it was a shit test. It was a thirst test. It was funny. And the way you handled it was pretty solid too. I'll hand that off to Steve. What do you think?
Yeah, I like the way he handled it, but I would have taken it to another level. I would have said, okay, well, does this guy do this? And I would have turned her ass or turned her around.
Uh-oh.
I would have pulled those panties down and I would have smashed it from the back. Does he do it this way in that dream?
Like, no, he does it. Oh, no.
Right, yeah, because at the end of the day, it sounds like, see, a lot of y'all guys understand women, the reason women read 50 Shades of Grey and they love romance novels is because of the guy in the book he's assertive. He dominates. And it seems like what you were saying in your relationship, that you're having things are okay. They're not great. But let me ask you a question. If I was working for you and I was doing okay work and you knew there was somebody else that can come along that can do great work, would I still be around? That's the thing you got to ask yourself, because what that dream to me has something to do with is how you are as a man to her. And I'm not saying she's doing a cry for help or anything. I'm just saying that as a man, your relationships should never be just muddling along. You need to fix that and get that together. And I just think it's a cry for help. Rollo, what do you have from that, brother?
I pretty much agree with what both of you guys are saying. I think the idea of a thirst test is really good too, because women, remember, hypergamy is based on doubt. So, and what is that doubt? That doubt is he the best that I can do? And it sounds to me like since you have instituted all these changes in your life and whatever the therapist was saying, I don't know. It sounds to me like that question is being answered for her in a different way. Whereas probably before, she was uncertain as to whether or not she wanted to stick it out with you. Suddenly you've changed a little bit. You have taken it. If you're following any kind of red pill, wisdom, you understand her nature a little bit better. You probably also understand your power in the relationship too. Remember, a lot of guys, when they get into a marriage or, a long-term relationship, they have to understand that while they're in that relationship, that woman's sexual market value is decaying while his is going up. Or should be going up, I should say. Your peak potential usually happens right around the time that most men get married, right? Most guys get married. What is the average date? The average age now is something like 27 or 28 years old, I think, for the age of first marriage. So that is, and that's kind of a nasty trick there, isn't it? Because it's when a woman's sexual market value is in decline, really in decline, and it's when a man's sexual market value is on its ascent to its peak potential. Let's call it that.
You put that on the chart, don't you?
Yes, I do. I have that in the second book. And I think that guys don't realize they'll get into these situations. One of the reasons I say wait until after you're 30 to get even monogamous is because you are not realizing your full sexual selectivity, your full sexual potential. And that's what trips these girls out. That's especially if a woman has been married to you and suddenly right around the time you're about 36, 37 years old, and she realizes this guy's sexual market value is higher than my own. Whereas maybe 10 years prior, when they were 27 years old, she probably thought the opposite. She probably thought my sexual market value is higher than his. So is he really the best I can do? Back then, she was probably thinking, no, I can do a whole lot better if I just hold out for Mr. Right. But okay, he's Mr. Available. So I'm going to go and sleep with him, and I'm going to lock this guy down. Then she gets into, like, say, in her 30s, and she sees the guy is hitting his stride at that point. That causes a lot of anxiety for women. And that's why women try to convince men that they're going through some sort of midlife crisis. It's not a midlife crisis. It's that guys are realizing their peak potential, and they look at their wives and they go, damn, if I'd have just listened to Rollo and I just had waited until I was 36, 37 years old, then I could have been getting with a 27-year-old girl right now. But as it stands, I was blue pill back in the day, and I made this choice and this decision. So what happens is women try to convince you. They try to get in your head. They gaslight you. They think, oh, you're just trying to recapture your youth. You're really not as young as you think you are. And it's not. It's not about wanting to recapture your youth. It's about a man realizing that he is actually in his peak potential, but he's locked into it. He's locked into a situation where he can't maneuver, and he can't optimize it from where he's at. Because when women are 23 years old, they're in their peak potential. That is when women, there's a reason they call the store Forever 21.
That's right.
And not Forever 41. Okay. Because that's the age that women are always looking backwards for, because that's what they want to be. They want to still be 21, 22, 23 years old again. Okay. So that's their peak potential right there. Your peak potential will be probably around 35, 36 years old. And trust me, when you're in that relationship, and you're in a marriage, let's say you've been married for like, let's just say conservatively, you've been there for like 6 years, right? You got married at 29. And then you're in your peak potential. You're starting to see that you've made partner in the firm. You've got some sort of, you've lifted if you've done everything that you should be doing to maximize your burden of performance and your potential. She's going to see that, and she's going to go, whoa, this guy could get other women. And remember, women want a man who other men want to be and other women want to fuck. So when you're in that situation, and now, especially now, because you're learning red pill, you're becoming red pill aware, and you understand the mechanics here. I would say that she is being more like, for her to say, oh, I had a dream about whatever, whether or not that's true or not.
Right.
What she's saying is, that question that I've been asking myself for the last 10 years, are you good enough? Well, I just answered it because, I dreamt about some really exciting guy, but I actually stuck with you. Aren't you proud of me? No, I'm not proud of you, because all she's saying is, it's like, she can't, I think it was Freud who said something like, no human being can keep a secret. Okay. You'll fidget, you'll do something to sort of give yourself away. And what she's doing is she's giving herself away because she thinks that by selecting you, that should in some way be flattering to you, and that you will stick with her, because right now she's probably looking for long-term security. And because she's looking for that security,
maybe.
What's that?
Maybe that was a comfort test too.
It could be a comfort test as well, but I think what she's trying to do is she's trying to convey the message that here's what she's saying. I acknowledge that you're red pill aware. I acknowledge that you've done something with yourself. I acknowledge that you have upped your sexual market value and you are hitting your stride. But guess what? Now I'm all in. Now, if what she's saying is, even if an alpha exciting guy came along, I would still pick you. Because you're what I have, and you're what I got to stick with, and you're what and maybe she's genuine. I'm not saying that maybe she's not, like, maybe it's like she actually feels that way, but she's saying that now, whereas her actions and her behaviors prior to all this was contradictory to that. Right. So she's saying, what she's really saying, the message here is, I'm choosing you, and my hypergamy is now saying that you're the one that I have to stick with now, because my sexual market value is on decline and yours is on its ascent right now. So please stay with me. It's a security and a comfort test is what it is.
Big thanks goes out to Jeremy with the $50 super chat. Says, you men are doing great work.
Yes, we love.
Yeah, definitely, Jeremy. We greatly appreciate that.
Namaste.
Sharp Assist with the $5 super chat says, keep it up, men. Appreciate that. One last thing here before we get to area code 985 that just jumped on, and area code 617 that just jumped on. I tell guys that a lot of guys need to quit giving their women credit for shit that they should already be doing, right? Wife gets on her knees and sucks your dick, you take her out for a steak dinner. Negative. She should be sucking your dick anyway. When you take your woman out for a steak dinner, after sucking your dick, what this means is she doesn't normally suck your dick. You want to know what happens when Devin sucks my dick? Okay, whatever the hell I want to happen after that, right? And I said all that to say this. One of the things that could be at play is she wanted kudos for doing something in a dream that she should have done anyway. What do you want, a fucking cookie? You chose. So you had a choice between two guys, and you chose me. What do you want, a fucking fish? A fucking congratulations. Oh, baby, I'm so glad you picked me. Bitch, you already picked me. You live in my fucking house.
Yeah. Remember that day we traded rings? That's when you picked me.
Man, listen, and check this out. Just because she says she picked the other guy doesn't necessarily mean that she did, number one. Right. Number two, this was in a dream. It's easy to make the right decision in a dream. Dude, call her for all we know. Dude, she might have let that guy fuck her in the ass, but then tell you that she picked you. Guess what? Yeah. That actually happens in the real world. Oh, Donovan, guess what? I saw my ex-boyfriend. We went to coffee. It was totally cool. We remained friends. And he actually talked about getting back together. Don't worry, baby. I told him that it's you, and I'm happy, blah, 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 blah. Well, little did we know she sucked his cock in the parking lot after drinking the latte, right? Never, ever, ever, never, ever, ever listen to what she says. Watch what she does. Here's my third point. Just because you did it in a dream or as a make-believe scenario doesn't make it valid. So you want me to congratulate you for some shit that you said you did in a dream. I remember a long time ago, man. It was a long time ago. One of my buddies, we used to have Guitar Hero contest or whatever, right? And we watched this one Guitar Hero. It was a video, and this dude played the super hard song, got like 99.9% of the notes correct. He says, "Yeah, I can do that." I'm like, "Okay, good." He's like, "Well, that's all you're gonna say?" Is like, "I just told you I could do that." I was like, "Dude, like, I don't fucking believe you. I'm not gonna give you credit for some shit that somebody else did." Like, that's like somebody hitting a 450-foot home run, be like, "You know what? I can do that. Now, please cheer me because I told you I could do that." Right? Just because you said you did it in a make-believe scenario, that don't make it valid. Because dreams and real fucking life, two different things. Because I can promise you this: if she really is thinking about the alpha in her dream, if this was even real, she might actually, there might actually be an alpha out there that she may be thinking about. And she might be telling you that she might have given you this dream scenario to throw you off the scent. Well, you know what? If she made the right decision in her dream, then I can damn sure I don't have to worry about her in the real world. I know that any alpha male can approach her, and by golly, she's gonna make the right choice. Beware, caller. Beware. All right, Carlos Miranda with the $2 super chat says, who said the other guy wants her? I don't really know. I guess that's the guy at the coffee shop. Yeah, obviously the other guy didn't want her because she ended up with the other guy. And who gives a shit whether or not, who said the other, whatever. Stupid question. Dude, you wasted your money there. Zenith with the $5 super chat says, great show, guys. I'm wondering, can some disrespect be handled like a shit test? Area code 985 and 617. I'm going to get to you guys. This is a very good question. God. Okay. Let's say that here's an example of shit testing versus disrespecting. You're on a date with a woman and a woman is texting on her phone. That is a shit test. It could be construed as disrespectful, right? But that's a shit test because you can pass that shit test without doing anything illegal, number one, or leaving the date, number two. If you have to do something illegal or blow up the relationship as a result of her thoughts or actions or her words or actions, that is disrespect. And you need to eliminate yourself from the situation. So the shit test is her texting on a date. Disrespect would be talking to someone in your presence on the date. So the answer to that in that scenario is no. There is nothing you can do short of getting up and walking out of the restaurant, never to be seen again, that she would respect. Anything you do other than eliminating yourself from the situation, she's not going to respect, right? So again, if the way to handle this, to maintain your dignity and respect, means removing yourself from the situation, that means it's disrespect. So in that particular scenario, no. Handling disrespectful behavior, you can't handle it like a shit test. There is no answer to disrespectful behavior except to remove yourself from the situation.
Right.
What are your thoughts on that, Steve?
No, you hit it on the head. Disrespect is disrespect, period. You're right about the phone. You can just, I can't say nothing. You did a Rollo on me. I'm gonna call it a Rollo.
Rollo, let me put this scenario to you, Rollo. And 985-617.
Let me tell you real quick. Hold that thought for a second.
Okay, go ahead.
What you just described about, like, if you're on a date and the woman starts texting, or she takes a phone call, or she's there, right? Unless it's like some medical emergency, it would behoove you to simply leave that date, or just say, you know what, check please, kind of thing. What you're presenting here is exactly what is right out of Likas 101. Tom Likas has talked about this scenario since 2001, I think, is when I first heard him talking about this kind of stuff. Is like when a woman gets on her phone, or she is in some way like not talking to you, or you're there taking her out. I'm assuming you guys you're paying for the date, whatever. You are there with the understanding, the pre-understanding that you are there and your time is valuable, or there is some sort of understanding between the two of you, unless you're like some, beta orbiter and you're just paying for, buying her a burrito or some shit like that. But he was saying, like, there used to be like callers who would call into Likas and say that they did that. They would leave and excuse themselves to go to the bathroom and just leave the chick there at the table and not go. Yeah. And because, and the logic behind that, and I don't know necessarily that this is actually, something that is practical, but the logic behind all that is that she's not going to learn from anything else, right? She's not going to learn to, that you met a man that's not going to put up with that kind of stuff. And again, this is a thirst test, or a beta, definitely a beta test.
Definitely.
And again, it's a complete lack of interest. If she's doing something like that, or she's texting, or she's, oh, just a minute, right? She's texting me. That's what she's doing. She's texting me. She's texting Steve. She's texting whoever it is who's going to be fucking her at about 10:30 after you guys are done and you've paid for the meal. That's what she's doing right there. So just use that as your benchmark I'm not saying that there couldn't be some sort of medical emergency, but likely not. So if you have a woman who is still preoccupied with social media and I think that's one thing Lycus doesn't get into just yet, is like women are preoccupied with like Instagram. So it's this constant, this constant need for attention if she's on the phone like that. But that's just one scenario. There's others, but go ahead. What were you going to say?
I'll actually ask you this, Rollo, right? Mm-hmm. So we talk about the fact that a lot of girls, and I swear to God, 985-617-503, we're going to get you guys in 2 minutes. Just give me just a second here. So shit test versus disrespect. Here's another example that I came up with, right? So a shit test would be mentioning her boyfriend. So you guys are driving down the street. Oh yeah, Brian used to take me to go see the movies at the movie theater, right? That's a shit test. The way to overcome that shit test is just completely ignore it, right? Either that or say, look, if you want to talk about your ex, talk about him to your girlfriends. I don't want to hear about it, right? Oh my God, are you insecure? Da, 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 da. No, I just don't want to hear about your ex-boyfriend. Like, that's it. End of discussion. Here's the disrespect. This is an outright disrespect. My ex had a much bigger cock than you, and he fucked better than you did, right? That's disrespect. And here's the thing. If a woman ever says that to you, there is nothing that you can do to gain her respect or to let her know that she is not to do it again, but to remove yourself from the situation. If the only solution to keep her respect, keep your dignity about you, is to remove yourself from the situation, that is disrespectful. I'm going to give you one more example. Here's a shit test. Hey, can we change tonight's date from 9 p.m. to 5 p.m.? Or can we meet tomorrow instead of today? Or can we eat at Applebee's instead of Outback? That is a shit test. The answer to that shit test is no. We're going to meet at XYZ ABC. Here is disrespect. Yo, at 4:45, right? She says, on my way to Applebee's now. I don't want Outback. See you when you get here. Or I'm not coming with you today. Tomorrow works best for me. That's disrespect. She's not asking you. She's telling you. So again, a shit test challenges your manhood, okay? Disrespect insults it. And the reason why you know it insults your manhood is because the only way to keep your respect and to keep your dignity is to remove yourself from the situation. I think that is going to be our benchmark. Let me not suck all the air out of the room. Area code 985. You've been on hold for 10 minutes. We appreciate it. You're on live with the Redline. Go ahead.
Hey guys, first of all, I want to say thank you. You know, this show's a breath of fresh air in this day and age. But
thank you.
It's a little bit off topic. I'm gonna be honest. I'm in a bit of a rut. I'm 21 years old. I found the red pill about 1.5 years ago, and I thought I found a unicorn. Before that, I had a notch count of 10. I look okay, so I've never really struggled too bad with women, but I've never really experienced real abundance. And this girl, I think she was VPD because she just love bombed me, like did my laundry, cooked my meals, like the whole 9 yards. Started like not wrapping it up, and then I got her pregnant. Then my blue pill conditioning kind of took over, and I ignored a lot of good advice, and I thought I was doing the right thing, so I married her.
Ooh.
And well, I think you guys can know where that went from there. You know, shit kept hitting the fan, and there was a crazy drama, and it just wasn't conducive to my mission. You know, so I bailed, and it's been about 4 months post separation, and I really haven't gotten myself back out there just because of the mind fuckery that went on. Excuse my language. She tried to get violent with me a couple of times, set me up, false allegations with the police that were coming out in family court.
Yeah.
And I don't want to go MGTOW, but like I'm having a hard time getting myself back out there. I was on my own for 4 years. I'm back living with my parents. I work out every day, you know.
Yeah, you're still so you're 21, correct?
Yeah.
How old is your baby?
He's 5 months.
Okay, right. I don't really know how to put this, and I understand you wanting to get back out there, but right now you're still very, very young. Trust me, dude. Right. You got plenty of time for pussy. Listen, you're young and horny, right? You want to fuck pretty girls, and I know, and I don't want to dissuade you from that. But what you need to do is you need to concentrate on the kid. I'm not trying to be Mr. Dr. Drew or Dr. Phil here, but when you have a son, of all things, you have a son. The last thing you need to worry about right now is vagina. And here's the thing. You're young enough at this point, and you probably look good enough to where you don't have to go out and hunt for pussy. The reason why you're in a rut right now is because you got a fucking 5-month-old, and a fucking BPD soon to be ex-wife, right? You're in no condition to be fucking anybody right now. What you need to do is you need to get your shit together and make sure your kid is going to be all right. Yeah, go ahead, Steve. What you got on this?
This is a case in point what happens to young men out there who are so busy making excuses to why they don't want to work on themselves. Young man, I'm glad that you have a son. Hopefully you can raise him to be a great man. But what you got to learn yourself is how to be a man. And until you learn those things, you will never be able to teach your son that, because you've got to learn the importance of your last name. You got to learn to wrap it up and not get these women pregnant. You have to learn when to draw a line in the sand and know that you have been in a disrespectful relationship, but you also got to be accountable and responsible enough to realize that she just didn't start mistreating you at the end, because that's what a lot of y'all guys think. The disrespect came when that shit test came and you failed it. And she realized that you were a carpet and she can walk all over you. And what happened was you allowed that behavior after that point, which then you were just rewarding her bad behavior. Thus, she was doing what she did. Now, I'm glad that you're out of that situation. Like Donovan said, all I can say is please be a great father to your son, because he's going to need you more than ever.
Yes, he is.
But you have to understand, and this is why I tell all you guys out there this, before you thinking about going raw in a woman, you've got to be prepared for that next guy that's going to try to play daddy, like Russell Wilson. Prepared for that next guy that's going to hold your son's hand, push him on the swing, and say, you know what, we don't need him. We can be our own family.
Right.
Let's adopt him. You got to be prepared for all that stuff. You got to be prepared for her to get mad at you and say, you know what, even though today's his day for visitation, I'm going to take it away from him, because it'll take a few weeks to go back to court. And by then I'll let him do it. So these are the things that y'all guys have to think about before you go raw in these women, because these women, remember, as soon as she pees on that stick, your rights are gone. Gone. And that's why I'm just saying, please work on you so you can become a better man. So when you see your son, he can teach him the things that you didn't learn. So then if he runs in that situation, he'll be able to protect your family name. Rollo, what you got on that, brother?
I need more information on this. So you're 21, is that what I'm getting? And how old is the mother of your child?
She's the same age.
Same age as you?
Yeah.
And how long were you guys together before you end up knocking her up?
Maybe 6 months.
So you were together for 6 months and then you got married? Is that how it works? How long were you married?
Pussy must have been good, man.
We were married probably 4 or 5 months, that neck of the woods.
All right. So you have a 5-month-old child, and you've been together for about a year, I guess, right? So you're talking about.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, I mean, all I can really say is just pretty much reiterate what these guys are saying right now is you need to you're not going to go MGTOW, dude, not at 21 years old, not if you're getting laid like you claim to be getting laid. My guess is that you were just I don't know, incautious, I guess.
I think he found the red pill. Listen, he found the red pill about a year and a half ago. He used red pill game to get a young, hot 21-year-old. Listen, this is what happens to guys who find the red pill.
That's it.
Yes, with great power comes great responsibility.
The father with fireworks.
Right. And I say this all the time. And listen, Steve, you're exactly right. You got to protect your sperm. I tell people all the time, maybe I didn't find the red pill till I was 32. And I thought, man, like I'm behind the times. No, thank God I found it at 32. Because if I had found the red pill at 20, 21 years old, like this guy, I might have a couple of kids running around too. Like this is just how it is. That's got to be attractive to women. All of a sudden, now girls will let you hit them raw. You're like, all right, this is great.
So let's just turn this around. This is a good cautionary tale. Okay. This is what why I wrote the chapter in the book Children with Dynamite, like Dream Girls and Children with Dynamite.
Okay.
If you give guys like the keys to the castle, if you give guys like the cheat codes to the game, and they don't know what they're going to do, like if they just want to play the game, they just want to have fun. Like if I say, hey, here's some techniques on how you can get laid, and go ahead and use them. It's like the same. It's like having an incomplete knowledge, right? It's like having, it's like, it's like martial arts, right? It's like if I go and I put a black belt around you and you really are only like a white belt, and I throw you in the ring with other black belts, you're going to get pummeled, right? So
right.
It's what guys do is they think, okay, I'm just going to learn game. I'm just going to learn some red pill stuff, and then I'm going to use it, and I'm going to solve my problem. My most immediate problem is I'm a virgin and I want to get laid. So they're going to use that. But what they don't realize is that like you said, with that comes responsibility. And that's where the red pill comes in. They learn game, or they'll learn PUA.
Sure.
And they'll learn how to get laid, but they don't understand how to live with a woman or what to look out for. So
black belts, Rollo. These women, black belts. That's what happens. Now it's got them.
Right. And so what happens is they go, what do? They go and they look for their ideal. They look for the chick that they think is the most ideal one that they could be with. And maybe she's BPD. And guess what? You're 21 years old, and now your 20s are going to be spent raising a child. So just get that in your head. Try to be the best, father that you can be. I mean, I can give you some sagely advice here, but I think you already know this. And if you have a father, or if you have somebody else in your life, I'm not going to tell you anything that like common sense isn't going to tell you. Okay. Which is, you got to focus on your kid. You got to be a good father. You gotta step up, man. You got to be
a man up.
You got to be that guy, right? You got and don't let it be a statistic, because most people want to say that fathers are superfluous. My guess is she'll probably get custody, and you'll be paying child support. So get ready for that too.
Here's the good news: if there is a silver lining here, he's still very, very young. Okay, so he's going to be spending his 20s raising a kid, right? By the time he's 31, his kid is going to be 10 years old, right? Not to say that the kid doesn't need adult supervision. Take it another 5 years. Now your kid is 15. Now you're 36. Now you're in your sexual prime, and your kid is 15 years old, right? So it's good that he had a kid this young. Listen, it's going to hamstring him financially. We know that. But as far as his sexual options, no. Fortunately for him, by the time his kid, can walk, talk, speak English, and is potty trained, he can go out there and continue to slay pussy. Just make sure you wrap up your dick. That's what I would say. Big shout out goes to JC with the $20 super chat. Says good stuff as always. Dr. Red Pill says keep the Red Pill game going, fellas. Great show. $1.99. Let's see. All right, let's go to the next caller. Area code 617. You are on live with the Redline. Go ahead.
Yes, how you doing, guys?
Good.
My name is Ledger Kendem. I'm originally from Cameroon, Africa.
Okay.
So I moved here. Around age 18, and I'm 36 now. I was raised to be a provider, and they kind of instilled that in me throughout my childhood. So I got married. I met a girl here, an American girl. I got married here in 2010, and I was totally bitter at that time. I was working and, giving her money for rent, rent. And she was the one, pretty much taking care of everything. And I was in law enforcement. So I kind of like, just give her the money, and she was pretty much, being a man in the relationship. I wasn't even being aware of that.
Right.
So it took a couple years for me to figure that out. And I was enlightened by a friend of mine, and he he advised me to read the book, Rollo book, The Rational Male. I read No More Mr. Nice Guy as well. I read Corey Wayne. So my mind started to change. So one of the problems I always had, I'm a big guy. I'm about like 6'7", like 265 pounds, all muscle.
Damn.
The way I was approaching her, sometimes I used to come across as threatening instead of inviting. So,
yep.
So that's been my
you're
biggest
6'7".
problem. My whole
This I have heard this before.
So that has been my biggest problem my whole life. Like I'm very muscular. I'm very intimidating person to any individual. So I've been working on being approachable, to women, because at first glance, women usually are like afraid of me.
Whoa, wait a minute. Let me stop you right there. Now you hold on. You live in America, correct?
I am.
Okay, I can understand why you would think you need to be inviting, and I think Rollo would agree with me on this one. Correct me if I'm wrong here. It is good for a woman to have a healthy physical fear, right? If a woman is not physically, Devin is physically threatened by me, right? If I wanted to, I could end her. I could end her in 10 seconds flat. Like that's just how that goes. But I don't like. I didn't like when we first started talking. I wasn't like, I can crush you. It's just my very physical stature, and of course, I'm a fucking hothead. She has a healthy respect for me because of my physical stature. Now, you've heard of the term called the gentle giant, right?
I have.
Right. Gentle giants, my friend, don't get laid, right? The gentle giant is the guy who is in your situation. The gentle giant is the guy who used to come across as he wasn't really intimidating, but his physical stature caused people around him to sort of recoil, right? And so he became very passive. Oh, look at him. He's a gentle giant. Girls don't want to fuck gentle giants. And I'll tell you this, a girl would rather fuck the aggressive 6'7" guy, 250 pounds of all muscle, who kind of intimidates her a little bit, over the gentle giant. That being said, there is sort of a happy medium. Don't lose the edge, right? So what we're talking about is aggressive, which I guess that's what you come off as. Then we have passive. Girls don't fuck passive guys. They fuck aggressive guys. But you're 6'7", 255, 2% body fat. You need to be assertive, right? Assertive is a happy balance between aggressive and passive. Assertive can also be very inviting. You can be straightforward. You can be forthcoming, but you can also be inviting. Use aggressive language, but then use assertive body language, right? Like if you're talking to a girl, hey, you know what? You seem like, and again, you're 6'7". Let's say you're talking to a girl who's like 5'4", right? You seem pretty cool.
Yeah.
Put your hands up. You seem pretty clear. Put your number in my phone. We'll have a good time. Make and maintain eye contact. Maybe take a step back. Put your hands at your side. You don't want to act like you're just completely intimidated by her. But by the same token, she needs to know that you've got some balls and that you can and will use that physical stature on her. Not in a fight, but when you're fucking her. Because like I said, girls don't fuck gentle giants. Steve, what you got?
Okay, yeah, this is a prime example of what you think versus what you're not doing. See, if you were truly intimidating, she would have thought twice about using you. Because, okay, the thing about it, I like to listen to all this stuff, Donovan. It seems like y'all guys, y'all want to fluff everything up instead of be honest with yourself. You're not intimidating at all, man. Because if the first girl was intimidated by you, she wouldn't have used you like she did, okay? So let's be honest with ourselves. But this is a case in point of somebody thinking one thing, okay, but his behaviors are not in line with his thoughts. And that's where your problem is coming at. You can be 6'8", 300 pounds. You can be 5'6", 120. It doesn't matter how big you are. But see, here's the problem that I have with, not with you, but y'all, when y'all guys do these things. Who cares how tall you are and who cares how much you weigh? What does that have to do with you, like Donovan saying, you being assertive? That's the thing. Yeah, you'll always come up with this excuse or this built-in excuse of why things are not happening instead of being honest with yourself and saying, I need help. I don't understand women. I don't understand how to be assertive. I don't understand how to be dominant. I don't understand to take risk. I don't understand to show women why they need to get with me. But what y'all guys want to do is you want to stand on how tall you are and how much you weigh. Women don't care about that. Because like they're saying, if they peel away those layers and they see a little baby in the fetal position, she's not going to respect you, man.
It is.
So all I'm saying to you is this. Yes, read Rollo's books. Definitely soak all that up. But if you're just reading his books and your behaviors are still stuck where you were before, it's not going to help you. Implement Rollo's books and make sure your behaviors line up to what you are reading. Then it doesn't matter how tall you are and how much you weigh at the end of the day. Rollo, what you got on that, fam?
Well, okay. If you are as physically impressive as you claim to be, and I've got no reason to believe that you wouldn't be, there is always going to be a physical element to any of your interactions with anybody, really. But I think that there is always going to be some level of like wariness about a guy who is, you know, really, really tall, especially, you know, if you don't know that person. There's an evolved, I don't want to say it's a fear, but it's sort of like a cautiousness around guys who are that big or that, you know, in some way intimidating. And I've answered this question on several different occasions. I actually had to answer this question when I was at the 2017 21 convention. Had a guy say much the same way. The guy was easily 6'3", maybe 6'4", tall black dude, good looking guy, had a lot of money together, but he was really kind of wrapped up in a one-itis relationship. And his whole thing was he believed that the woman that he was with was not coming around to him or was not opening herself up to him or not being as intimate with him because she was fearful of him being large, like being, you know, physically intimidating. And I think what guys do is they sort of use that as their crutch. Like you guys are saying, they use that as a crutch to say, well, you know, I can't really get to the trust with women. I can't really get to rapport with a woman because they're always like that. And the fact of the matter is it's not that. It's your personality. It's what you're conveying. When a woman, and this will probably piss off a few people here. When a woman when a woman sees you, when a woman has a perception of you, when she looks at a guy who's like really, really buff, or it's like she looks at a guy that looks like, say, Jason Momoa, right? A guy that's you know, physically in shape. She has in the back of her head, her hindbrain has this little subroutine that's running in the back of her head, and it's this expectations of what this guy's going to be about. Any guy that looks like Jason Momoa has to have a dominant personality. He must know he's good looking. He must know that he's good with the women. He must know. So there's all of these things that go along with the look of that guy. And so whether or not that's true or not is irrelevant. It's what's the hindbrain script that's running in the back of her head, and that's what it is. And so when guys tell me that, oh, it's just about looks, game is all about looks, you know, you don't even need any of that red pill stuff or that pickup artist crap. You don't need any of that. All you got to do is just looks max, right? You just got to be, you know, gym beast, right? You just got to go in there and maximize your looks as best you can. And I'm not going to say that women don't like looks. They do like looks. But the thing is there is a congruency between how you look and how you act. And what is that woman like expecting of you because you look the way that you do? So I use this example is if you had a guy who's like this bodybuilder dude, like really, really good looking, and you saw him walking down the street in high heels and a slingshot bikini or whatever, and he had long eyelashes on, why would that be off-putting to a woman? The guy's otherwise very good looking in any other context, or if he's wearing something that's different, if he's congruent with what she expects that look to be, but it's not. He looks like he's advertising as this transsexual or he's gay or whatever, right? And so the look is not congruent with what she's expecting from that guy. And so so here's how I'm going to bring this back home. When a woman sees you and you're big and you are intimidating, let's just say for sake of argument, a woman can probably be a little bit intimidating. She is expecting a certain personality type. She's expecting that your personality and who you are and your assertiveness or whatever it is that is preventing you from you know, getting to the next level with these women is that you're incongruent. Your personality is incongruent with that subtext that's going on in their brains. And so that, I think, is what you really should be focusing on, is what is it about me that is incongruent with my look and the way I'm presenting myself. And understand that your size is not necessarily a disadvantage. If anything, it's an advantage. I mean, most women want a tall guy. Why do they want a tall guy? Because they want to feel protected. And there's other ways that you can maximize that impression, but you've got to do it from a position of congruency with your personality and the way you look and what she's expecting you to, to who she expects you to be as that guy. Now, I'm not saying, oh, you got to go live for the expectations of a woman. I'm just saying this is the way the shit is. Okay. Because that's what we evolve for. That's what we look like. Men want to have a woman with an hourglass, body type. There's the same thing. We have personal expectations of the way that a woman would act depending on what she looks like too. So that's what throws off guys about really beautiful women. We think that they're going to be like all full of themselves or whatever, but they're whoever they are. But we have these preconceptions of what they're supposed to be like because we're looking for sexual availability. Blah, blah, blah. Anyways, my point is this, is like, look at the aspects of yourself that are incongruent with the way that you look and how you're presenting yourself. And it goes back to what Steve is just saying here too, as well, is it's really more about what's up here rather than in what's down here. Agreed.
Steve, what you got?
I'd like to take a moment and talk to Tommy Bahama for a second. Let me introduce myself to you, sir. My name isn't make excuses, cry, and dwell in fear. My name isn't worried about what women think or not build any confidence. My name is Steve the goddamn Dean Williams.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something. If I chastise you, it's because I'm trying to help you. If I'm yelling, it's because I'm trying to get you to open your goddamn eyes. If you don't like what I'm saying, get your ass out of here, because these guys want to learn how to be fucking men. I don't wake up every goddamn day worrying about these fucking bitches like you do. But you want to question, instead of listening to the message, you, like a female, want to listen to the messenger.
Right.
So I'm just telling you this. I'm here to help guys. And if you don't like what I'm saying, and if you feel that I'm yelling, I'm sorry. Go next door to the Neosporin and the Chicken Soup for the Soul show and get your ass out of here, because I don't give a fuck what you think, to be honest. Myself, Rollo, and Rollo and my dog over here are trying to help these guys. Listen to the message. Don't worry about how the messenger says it. Soak it up and stop crying.
Just because you type out the letters MGTOW doesn't solve all your fucking problems. Okay. That is not the magic fucking combination. It's not your fucking Nintendo combination for eternal life. Okay. There's more to life than just MGTOW. Okay.
No.
There's more to life than just, you know what? If you want to be successful with women, guess what? You're going to have to engage with fucking women. Got it? Okay, you're not some fucking dancing monkey. You're not you're just living your life to be. Well, you know what? Guess what? If you want to have some sort of interaction with women, guess what? You're going to have to, at least in some way, have something that's engaging about yourself. You're not just gonna, and you're not gonna be like the MRAs. I want to just pick on MGTOWs. You're not gonna just go sit over there in the corner of the club and just wait around, because it's so easy. Because all I gotta do is just stand here and just wait for the random hoe to come by, and then I can just go walk home with her, because I've got so much better things to do. But I'm just gonna sit here and wait for some hoe to come up to me and ask her to, or she's gonna ask me to buy, or she's gonna buy me a drink, right? Get the fuck out of here.
Doesn't work that way. It's again in whatever his name was, Bahama Mama. I don't look at the chat.
It's these guys that want to come in here and say, well, just by talking about this stuff, just by like saying, hey, here's how you can like sort of solve your problem. You want to engage with women. Well, guess what? Here you go. Well, that preassumes that you want to engage with women. Okay. You're not living for them just by like wanting to date women. It's, hey, guess what? All of your grandchildren, all your grandfathers, your great grandfathers, everybody else, they put you here because they were interested in women.
There you go. That's it. Yeah, I like when these MGTOW guys like to seem holier than thou. Well, I have the strength and resolve. I remember one guy tried to troll me. He's actually one of my patrons. And he says, I have had the strength and the resolve to abstain from sex for 10 years. Nah, bruh. No. You didn't have the strength to resolve. No. There was no strength and resolve there. You couldn't get laid for 10 years, and you are characterizing that as something that you were refraining from doing. No, not getting laid for guys is easy, which is doing what he is doing.
Making your necessity. You're making your necessity a virtue.
There it is. Boom. And what is that? That is a feminine trait. Here's another thing. Listen, man, this is called tough love. Just like Steve just said, this ain't chicken soup for the soul. Right? Like if you fall down and scrape your knee, we're not gonna help you up and kiss your boo-boo. No, we're gonna tell you don't fucking fall down again. Here's how to do it. If you don't like the way we deliver the message, you have other options. This is just not the way we're gonna do it here. Cam himself. Go ahead.
I just want to say real quick, at the end of the day, man, these men on this panel are somewhere where you want to be. In order to get where they're at, you got to push your ego and your self-importance aside. Right. And listen. That's what y'all do. I'm sorry, Donovan. Go ahead, bro.
Well said.
Hey, you know what? Feel free to call in. Yeah, feel free to call in. If you disagree, feel free to call in. That's what this show is for, is so you can call in and do that.
Shit. If you guys
That's exactly why we created this.
Yes, sir. Hello, Rollo. Shit.
Let's check this out. Cam himself with 3 super chats, 2 for $1 and 1 for $5. She said, "My girls asked me if it's okay to stay in touch with her ex via WhatsApp, who lives in another country and has a girl. How should I handle this?" You don't. And again, Rollo, this is right up the alley of last week's show. We talked about, hey, what if my girl comes to me and asks me if she can, the guy asks, hey, my girl wants to go to a concert. How should I handle this? Listen, if your girl asks you to go to a place where there's going to be sexual tension, guys who want to fuck her, and opportunities, dude, that's a wrap. If your girl is asking you to stay in touch with her ex, I don't care if he lives on planet fucking Mars and has 12 wives. She's attracted to him and not you. Think about what you just said. He lives in another country and he has a girl. That's called pre-selection, and he's not available. So she's naturally more aroused than attracted to him. Here's another thing. There's something you're not doing stateside. So when your girl asks you permission, well, she asked me permission. No, when your girl asks you permission to do something or to participate in an action that is conducive to infidelity, there is no way to handle that. You have already lost. Your thoughts?
Yeah, the best thing he can do in this situation is smile,
get
up and wipe down his pants and walk over to the closet, get the suitcases, pack all of her stuff up, put it out front, and tell her, go ahead and text him so he can pick you up. She does not respect you as a man.
It is.
If any woman says anything like that, like Donovan's saying, does not respect you guys. A woman is going to get away with you, with what you allow her to get away with. So there was something that happened somewhere along the way of your relationship where she thought that she could bring up another guy to you, and not only bring up the other guy, Rollo, but also ask if it's okay if I text him. Rollo, what you got on that?
The medium is the message. This is exactly what I would have said the last week, which is it's not that she's asking you permission. It's that she wants to go do this in the first place. It's about genuine desire, and you guys got to keep distilling it back down to that, because that's really what all of this comes down to. If she was into you, if you were her first choice, if you were the first thing on her mind, if you were her first priority in life, that question doesn't even get asked. You're already there. She's, you know what? She's already fucking the guy in her head. Okay. So at that point, what are you going to do? The real, what did we say last week? Really what the red pill boils down to at the end of it all, once you close the book, the question is, what are you going to do about it? That's really what it comes down to. So, and the medium is the message, right? So it's what is her behavior telling you? Her behavior is telling you that her desire is for somebody else. The fact that she's asking you permission is really saying, I still want to maintain the attention and the love and comfort that you're giving me, but I really want to reestablish this connection with my ex-boyfriend, who was most likely, I'm just speculating here, most likely was the alpha that she's pining for, and so she wants to have that connection to him. Say, you know what, you can go here's your permission. You go right ahead. You can have it, and then you're gone. Because really, what are you going to do about it?
Right. Right. There's nothing you can do about it. You can handle it. You can. The answer is you can handle it any way you want. The fact of the matter is she's going to do what she wants to do. Her asking you permission is just her telling you that she wants to do it, and probably will whether you give her permission or not. Area code 503. We're going to come to you next. Area code 408-773. In that order. Got a question here. Davey Furtada says, Rollo says, quote, never self-deprecate, but isn't agreeing and amplifying a shit test a form of self-deprecation? Let me answer that question for you, right?
Go ahead.
So when a girl asks you, right, and girls a lot of times, especially in the old school pickup days where they were just really trying to throw you off, they ask you, are you gay? Well, are you gay? Like you're like you really smell too good. Like, are you gay? No, but my boyfriend is. Rollo, that's not, and I think you know this, but Davey Furtado, that is a disingenuous question. You know good and goddamn well that agreeing and amplifying and self-deprecation are two very different things. Agreeing and amplifying is literally saying to the girl, what you just asked was absolutely stupid. Are you gay? No, but my boyfriend is. Clearly, I'm not gay. Clearly, I'm not self-deprecating, right? Are you married? Well, I don't think, I don't really know. No. Self-deprecation is rooted in truth. Agree and amplify is rooted in game. If a girl asks you if you're gay, or if she asks you, are you married? Well, I've got 12 wives. So yeah. Okay. That's it. And again, agree and amplify only when it applies to self-deprecation is when you self-deprecate on yourself within the context of game. That's not self-deprecation, right? Do you kind of seem like you're married? Well, we don't cuddle after sex. So no, that's how you handle that stuff. Again, I hate questions like this because guys are like, well, Rollo says X, Y, and Z, but then a standard tentative game is A, B, C. Explain yourself. Motherfucker, that is a disingenuous statement, and you fucking know it. Self-deprecation and agree and amplify are...
Well, there goes the monetization, so fuck it. Let's go. I was just going to say, it's okay.
All right, let me see.
I still got you. Yeah, I'm here.
Area code 503. You're on live with the Redline. Go ahead.
Hello, Redman Group.
Hello, whoever you are.
Yeah, I muted him because, dude, come on, you're killing me. You're killing me.
He's doing Tom Likas thing. Go ahead.
He's very enthusiastic. What you got, 503?
Yeah, what's going on, guys? Just want to comment. I think what came first, Tom Likas or the red pill, man? Because there's so many correlations there. I feel like
maybe Patrice O'Neal too. The same could be said about him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Definitely Tom Likas came before the red pill. I know that because Tom Likas has been, well, when Tom Likas had a terrestrial radio show, it was like the late 90s into the early 2000s. So I feel pretty confident saying that Tom Likas came out before that, but it wasn't called red pill. I don't even think red pill was even called. I can show you posts on the SoSwap forum where we used to talk about the red pill back in like 2002 or 2003, but it wasn't not in the context of how we refer to it right now. We were just doing it in the terms of like we're trying to define terms or find ways to describe what it was that we were talking about. We didn't even call like betas back then. We called them AFCs. Right. And so Likas, I'll be the first one to say Likas was a big influence on myself as well. So and still good and still is doing it too. He said he was going to retire last year. He is not retired.
Yeah, apparently
he just still doing the tasting room, or is he still doing that kind of stuff?
I don't know. I would love to. I have tried to contact him. I've tried to go like Dino and what's his name have their own podcast as well, the Gary and Dino show, and I think it's really more kind of like bro culture as opposed to actually being like red pill. I like Tom Likas a lot. I think he has a lot of wisdom. I think a lot of people sort of choke on his delivery because he's a showman. He's a talk radio guy, and he knows his craft very, very well. But I think that the only thing he does that's a drawback is he doesn't take himself seriously enough. I think.
Maybe that's where the self-deprecation comes.
Yeah.
In, right? Yeah. All right. Thanks for the call, area code 50. Oh, wait a minute. I let him go. I didn't know if he had a question. 503. Call back in. Area code 408. Now, guys, you have 12 minutes to get in on the show. right? You have 12 minutes. Now, if you call in within 12 minutes, even when that 12 minutes passes, you're still on the line. So if you want to get in on the show, you got 12 minutes to call.
We need to do, okay, it's the last 12 minutes of the show. We need to do rapid fire. Go, 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 go.
Go, go, go. Area code 408.
Okay, this is the rapid fire section of the show.
Round robin.
Rapid fire. Rapid fire.
408, are you there?
Oh, yeah. Good evening, gentlemen, and happy Friday.
Yeah.
Oh, gee, and I almost kind of hate to ask this question just because I feel like I should know better, considering the fact that I've, been following you folks now for some time, especially Rollo. But fuck it, I'm just going to ask it anyway, man. It's been going on for a couple of months now. And, I understand the whole concept of having an abundance mentality as well as not have a sniper target for a girl, right? Mm-hmm. But it's been an interesting situation for me. So I just thought I don't know if I make a fool of myself.
Yeah, let's hear it, man. No, that's cool.
Go ahead. Rock and roll.
That's how I learned from you guys anyways. All right. So, I'm gaming this girl. It's been going on for a couple of months now. And she's got this like beta orbiter with her all the time though. And I don't know if they're fucking or not, but
wait, hang on. Now, if you don't know whether or not she's fucking her or not, or she's fucking him or not, doesn't sound like a beta orbiter, right? Devin was check this out. Devin was texting some guy back and forth. She was sitting on my couch texting some guy, right? You want to know why I let her text this guy back and forth and laugh and chuckle? Because it was her gay hairdresser, right? You understand what I'm saying? So if you think there's a chance she could be fucking him, he might not. He might be more of a threat than you may be giving him credit for. But I'll let you go.
Yeah, continue.
No, and that's a good point, Donovan. I'm sorry, Rollo, were you going to say something?
No, I'll just say continue the rest of the story.
Oh, okay. Yeah, sorry, I just thought. Yeah, no, that's a good point, Donovan. It's a really good point. But here's my counter, I guess, to that is that she's kind of generating these gestures so to kind of come off as if she's not with him. So she'll make it seem like, I don't know. I mean, I don't know if this is just me or not, but she'll make it seem like she's not with him basically. So when we go to the gym, even though he's around, she'll kind of isolate herself, or she'll come in at different times to make it seem like he's not with him. But, I'm not stupid. I could see that he is. And the reason why I call him a beta orbiter is because, if this motherfucker really had, the balls to keep her out in pocket, and she wouldn't be, acting like this or behave like this to try to catch my attention. So that's why I think he's a beta orbiter. But I'm just like confused. I know the medium is the message. And I know Rollo always talks about how, that's bullshit about girls are complicated and, she's giving me mixed signals. No, there's no such thing as that. The medium is the message. But I had to call and just ask you guys, like, why
this is interesting.
Kind of making these gestures.
This is interesting.
So
how often
if she's not with him?
How often is he around her? Is he around her all the time?
Yeah, pretty much, man. I mean, even when I think she's not around, because she'll like isolate herself, make her seem like she's all alone. But he's around the gym, right? Or he's around the area, or he's just around where she's at in some way or form or another.
Are you fucking this
and
girl?
Will try to catch my attention. I don't know. That's what I'm saying. I don't know, Donovan. And
are you?
If I don't know,
no. He's
not. Am I? Oh, no. Of course not. No, I'm not.
Dude, can I say something, please?
Dude, I just did the math, Steve.
Come on, man. Look, man. I don't know why y'all
bring it.
Why y'all? Okay,
that's what I'm saying. That's why I called.
All right. I love you, dog, and I say this with love. You said you've been gaming her for how long? How long?
Okay, so
no, answer the question. How long?
Answer the question.
A couple of months. A couple of months.
Couple of months. God damn, man. How many dates have you been on?
Right. That is 1 month, 3 weeks, 4 days, 5 hours, and 7 minutes.
Okay, Steve, just hear me out. Here, I got a lot of respect for you, brother. I really do. Just hear me out on one thing. Okay.
Oh, my bad. I muted him. Hold up.
Wait. We heard you out. I heard you out. I was quiet. I heard you out. You have to say anything else, man.
Okay. You heard me. Okay. I got a lot of respect for you. Yeah. You keep it 100 like Donovan, and I don't care. hurt my feelings. That's how men learn, right?
Or
anyway,
wait,
check this out, man. Like,
hold on. It sounds to me like you might be the beta orbiter.
Exactly.
That's what it sounds like to me, because you were wondering.
No. But no. Okay, you guys are mixing it out now. Now
all
I'm
right.
making myself like a beta orbiter.
All right. Let's hear him out. Let's hear him out.
When I say gaming her, man, like I don't really go out of my way though to get her attention. She comes to me, right? It's at that point now where she knows I'm not going to be chasing her. She's seeking my validation.
Sir.
Always. She comes adjacent to where I'm at.
Do you have her phone? Do you have her phone number?
Sir, can you stop lying?
I never do any of that shit, because I know her. I mean, I've texted her before to set up some dates.
Sir, let me tell you about the real world with women.
There goes our 12 minutes.
You know the reason why women sleep with us within a week? Because we're not pussyfooting around.
Right.
Wait for life to happen to you. You're not assertive. You're not transparent. You're not clear and concise. You're not impactful. Look, and I say this with love because I care. You're boring. There's nothing special about you. Listen, here's a shocker. Women love dick. They love sex. And let me tell you, they masturbate at least 4 or 5 times a day. So what you're telling me,
baby.
Look, man, I'm gonna throw it to y'all guys. I'm just saying to you, look, man, you are the problem. She is not interested in you, because if she was, she would have got rid of that beta male. You want to know why? Because Donovan would not allow that to go on. Rollo would not allow that to go on. They are not going to waste their time, and you have already wasted a month and 2 months and some change. Come on, man, wake up, dog.
I often say this, and I'll let Rollo go after this, right? I don't have any female friends, right? The only time I'm friends with a female is if I have fucked her, I am fucking her, or I want to fuck her. I'm not going to wait 2 months to fuck. The only time I would ever wait 2 months to fuck a girl is if she's 17 years old and she turns 18 in 2 months. That's the only time I'm waiting 2 months to fuck a girl. So it sounds to me like, and maybe there's a little bit of, maybe he is maybe not self-aware. Maybe I don't know. He says that she seeks his attention, but if she seeks his attention, then why hasn't he fucked her yet? And if you don't spend that much time around her, then why do you know the other guy is always around? Those are my questions.
Good question. I was just going to say this is, if you have been, wondering about this for 2 months, you're not gaming this girl. You're simply not gaming. If you were gaming her, you would have had your answer. Let's say you would have had sex with her already within, what did Mystery say? Mystery says it's like 7 hours to actually have sex with a woman for your investment. And I've also, I was gonna, like, when I was listening to this, I'm like, I was gonna throw at you the 3 strikes post that I have, or wait for it, like iron rule number 3, which is anytime a woman makes you wait for sex, the sex is never worth the wait. But you're not gaming her. You just happen to be in the same vicinity as her. And I'm a little confused as to how you're constantly around her and how you aren't as much a beta orbiter as this other guy. It sounds like it's 2 beta orbiters, like, circling each other.
Yeah, right.
Around this. And okay, so she comes to you, and what do? She's coming to you and it seems like she's giving you, let's just say for sake of argument, she's giving you indicators of interest. What are you doing? What have you been doing for 2 months if she comes to you? Yeah. What have you been doing?
Yeah, like, dude, if a girl is trying to get my attention,
I got one last thing to say, but go ahead.
I'm going to give her that attention if she seeks it out. At area code 408, I think your call dropped. Call back. We need more details. Rollo, what you got?
All right. Well, okay. So that's you're not gaming her. You're not. If you're jacking around for like 2 months, that's not gaming, dude. You're not making an approach. And like, people say, well, I play the long game. There is no long game. Okay. It's like, there is no fucking long game. Just get out of your head that there's a lot. Well, I waited a long ass time, and I waited 10 years to get out of here. You're not. That's not game. That's just you playing long distance. That's you playing phone friend, is what that is. But no, what I was gonna say is this: is like, I think there comes a time, and another reason why. Let Dr. Rollo Tomasi here. Another reason why you need to wait until you're 30 or into your early 30s before you even pretend to be monogamous with someone is it will give you a new, I mean, assuming you've been dating and you've been spinning plates like you should be throughout your 20s and everything, it will give you a perspective so that once you get to be about 30 some odd years old, you'll look back and you will look at the way that you used to date, like back in your 20s, as kind of juvenile. Like you'll especially like a 30-year-old man does not date the way that a 16-year-old boy does.
No way.
And that's what this shit reminds me of. This is 16. This is middle school shit is what this is. Okay. If you are like 26 years old, 28, 30 years old, and I have a post. I have a post. Okay. The post is this. It's called the Adolescent Social Skill Set. And what I do is in that post, I break down how certain people never mature past, and a lot of this is women, but some men. Okay. I'm not going to just pick on women. It's balanced this time. Okay. But certain people don't mature past their adolescent social skills. And usually it's guys or girls who get married very, very early. So you've got a guy and a girl who got married. They met each other in church camp at 17 and they got married at 19. All right. Their experience with dating and their experience with like intersexual dynamics ended at like 17 years old, but they carry that same understanding into their 30s, and they still use that as their knowledge base at 17 because they never dated in their 20s. They never dated in their 30s. And so consequently, when a guy gets to be like 45 years old and he finds himself divorced, and he still has an adolescent social skill set, he still thinks that all the skills that he used to get his like 16 or 17-year-old high school sweetheart still are applicable. And he just doesn't know what to do with himself.
I've never thought about that. That's what that question was. Well, there's a girl and she really likes me, but there's this other guy and I don't know if she likes him. What do I do?
That's middle school shit. It's like I expect my daughter's more mature than that. I would expect that, from a high schooler, because that's adolescent dating is what that is. That's adolescent concerns. It's concerns that would be important to an adolescent or somebody with an adolescent mind. And I should also say this is that, you go through your dating periods when you're in your teens. And then usually if you're still single, you go through your 20s and maybe your mid 20s. Women are in their party years. This is what they like to do. They go into a dating mode or modality, I guess, of like how it's appropriate to intersexual dynamics when they're, say, 20 years old until they're 26. Then they go into the epiphany phase, and they know that they better get a man, and they know that they better cash out all their chips before the casino closes. And so they go through the epiphany phase, and during the epiphany phase, their sexual strategy changes, of course, but like their attitudes and their modality, I guess, of dating changes at that point too. So if they are maturing, then I'm not saying all do, but if they're maturing along, by the time you get to be like 33 years old and you meet a woman who's still stuck in that adolescent social skill set, guys are just like, like
here's
just to put a point on this is my sister-in-law went through the same thing. Like when she ended up like divorcing her husband, the guy who killed himself, when she ended up divorcing that guy, all of her social skill sets were learned when she was a teenager. And so consequently, when she got with a millionaire guy after her husband had committed suicide, she was just like, on the phone, and it's like, it's just like I'm 16 again, and it's this, and you're looking at, and this is a grown ass woman. This is somebody who's well, at that time she was like late 30s, early 40s. And it's like, she's acting as if she's like 15 years old. And then it occurred to me, she's never learned anything else because her dating experience ended at 17. So that can be really fucking frustrating. And that's frustrating for me to see guys in that situation like this guy is right here. And so as a 51-year-old man, I'm looking at this, I'm going, what the fuck are you doing? What in the fuck are you doing? Because that is, and if you're 30 years old and you're still like relating to women as if you're like 16, 17, 18 years old, that's something you need to deal with. That's something you got to go, okay, I need to spin more plates. I need to get out there. I need to do something because I am still I'm still dating like a high school student and I'm 30 some odd years old. Things have changed. The dynamics are different. So look into yourself. Have some insight about that is what I'm saying.
Rollo, Jebediah, Tomasi. Man, let me tell you something. I can't even spell 2 months. I don't even know what that means.
I can't even spell 2 months.
You guys need to stop being those grass-eating lions. If you show me a lion,
herbivorous men,
sitting around 2 months, show me a man that goes to McDonald's and sits around at the cashier for 2 months to make an order. You guys have got to stop making these excuses on why you have a problem. Start being honest with yourself and realize the problem is you. Don't blame the woman. Don't blame the color of the trees. Don't blame Rollo's glasses. Don't blame Donovan TV. Look in the mirror, man. 2 months, man. Hey, can someone spell that for me? Because that's like, no, I don't even know.
Yeah, listen, I can spell it. I have to look it up. Yeah. I would have to cheat on that. Here's one thing that Rollo said, and we'll get to area code 773 and 714 here in a little bit. The thing is this, man, is when it comes to women and maturity, my theory is this, and I think this is pretty accurate. I think Rollo might agree with some elements. I think that as soon as a female figures out that the opposite sex, when they figure out men want to fuck them, they stop maturing mentally. Because the object, a woman's main goal, main purpose in life is male attention, irregardless of what she thinks she wants, career, goals, and money. No. A woman isn't a woman in her mind and really isn't a woman unless she has male attention. So when a woman, now at 12, 13, 14 years old, girls start to see that guys are starting to pay a little bit more attention to them, maybe even grown men. And they think, well, that's kind of odd because this 26-year-old man is kind of looking at me like my classmates here. When they get to be about 14, 15 years old, it goes off in there and said, oh my God, these guys want to fuck me. That to me is when the maturation process mentally stops, because at that point, subconsciously, she's already doing everything that it is that she needs to do to get whatever she wants from the opposite sex. Here's what's really going to bake your noodle. She starts to mature again as soon as the attraction level starts to dwindle. So when she realizes that she's not getting as much sexual attention from guys who used to give her sexual attention, when she figures out, oh shit, I'm 31 years old, okay, I can still fuck pretty much any guy I want, but the guys I used to be able to fuck back when I was 22, 23 years old, they don't really give me the time of day anymore. That's when she starts to mature again. This, Rollo, is the reason why you've got your 38-year-old sister-in-law giggling like a teenager, like she's 17 years old, because guess what? She figured out that men wanted to fuck her when she was 17 years old. She hasn't figured out that her sexual market value has declined, so she's still that 17-year-old. Guys always ask me this, guys. They say, Donovan, I'm dating this 32-year-old, I'm dating this 28-year-old. Why the fuck does she act like a teenager? It's because she stopped maturing mentally when she figured out guys want to fuck her. She hasn't figured out at 35, 36 that guys don't want to fuck her yet. When she does, now all of a sudden she's going to start to mature. Oh, wait a minute. I got to develop myself outside of my ass and my tits if I want to keep these guys around. This is why your average 38, 39, 40-year-old has the mind of a 22, 23-year-old. They've only started maturing just 3 years ago when they realize that the sexual attention is dwindling. What do you think about that?
Oh, me? Okay. First off, there is, I forget the name of the researcher. I will dig this up, I promise, for you. But there's a guy who's written a book about how men and women mature, and he's broken it down. I forget the damn dude's name, but he's broken it down into different phases. Like there's stage 1, stage 2, all the way up to stage 6, right? There's different levels of like mental maturity, emotional maturity, and he adds like spiritual or mental, that kind of stuff too. But there's different stages. And the guy was saying that because of the nature of women, they only mature up to like stage 4. Somebody in the chat will dig this up, I'm sure. They mature to a stage 4, whereas men mature up to like 5 and 6 or something, be fully mature. But for whatever reason, the nature of women, whether it is because they're nurturers or whatever, they don't mature past a certain degree. So I think there's some merit to that. I also think there's some merit to what you're saying as well. I do think that you can be stunted in your maturity when it comes to dating and it comes to emotional maturity. It's really easy. Like if you don't have the depth of experience to move on, so like let's just say to the next level, if you don't have that, if you don't have access to being taught those lessons, you're going to be stunted in that one state. Now, do you guys know Lolo Jones? Do you know who I'm talking about?
I know exactly.
Lolo Jones, like Christian girl who's never, she's still, and I remember it was funny because they were taking bets as to who's going to get laid first, Tim Tebow or Lolo Jones.
Oh,
right?
Listen, Tim Tebow was getting laid when he was at Florida.
One of the things that prompted me to write the adolescent social skill set essay was because of the story of Lolo Jones, because Lolo Jones still has this and in some ways, I guess it's kind of refreshing, but she has this kind of naivete that is a result of her never maturing past like a certain level when it came to dating. And now she's, according to her, she's still a virgin. She's like in her 40s right now and has never really understood the process, like what the flow of a date, because she's never gone from meeting a guy, being attracted and aroused through seduction, through intimacy, through rapport, to sex, to actually completing the whole thing and then moving. She's never had that experience to understand what the phases are. So, you know, when guys look at her, they go, well, it's nice. It's kind of like it's like a collectible toy from the 1960s that's still in its fresh little package, and it's beautiful. It's a collector's item, but nobody really wants to open the package and play with the toy, right? They just want to leave it frozen in time kind of thing. And I know that sounds really messed up, but it's just like when you're an adult guy, like if you're an adult 40 some odd year old guy, I mean, you would think, oh man, she'd be great because she's 40 some odd years old. She's still a virgin. She's exactly what I'm looking for. And I want to have a long-term relationship with her and blah, blah, blah. But now you got to understand she's kind of damaged goods because she's never had kids. She probably wanted to have kids. She's never gone through, it's almost like she's stunted. It's almost like she had some sort of disability. And now she's like 40 years old, and it seems like that her whole life has been lived according to the disability of her never really getting sex or understanding how sex works or understanding how dating works, because it's never really worked out for her. So consequently, she's 40 years old and she's still operating from this adolescent social skill set. So I think there's something I think what you said is accurate. I think that might not be the entire picture, but I think it's pretty accurate. Somebody wants to talk about Ayesha Curry. Do you guys want to talk about Ayesha?
No. We got we'll talk about the Ayesha Curry thing here in a minute. I've got
I didn't get to talk about that this morning with Pat. I really wanted to.
Okay. Well, I mean, we can talk about it.
That's okay. We don't have to.
Okay. All right. We can talk about it on the RMG tomorrow.
Yeah.
Area code 773. And by the way, shout out to Davey Furtado with the $2 super chat. He says it was a genuine question, not doubting. That was the self-deprecation. And listen, I believe him now. I'm a shoot first, ask questions later kind of guy, because I've been trolled so much in the chat that my filter says to me that questions are inherently disingenuous. So if I come off and I fire the guns at you and say, oh, how dare you ask a question like that, and this, and that, and the other, it's because, listen, I've got PTSD as far as trolls are concerned. So you just have to understand that I'm gonna be a little bit prickly when I read things. This is just how it is.
Yeah, you know what I was gonna say is my bullshit radar goes off whenever somebody starts saying, "Oh yeah, I've read Rollo's 3 books," and they start rattling off like every term from the books. Like, oh, hypergamy this and it's like, it's not, to me that sounds like you're trying to. It's a goof, right? You're trying to put something.
By the way, Lolo Jones is now 36 years old. She's still beautiful.
Yeah,
she's 36, man. Kind of getting up there. 773. What you got for us, man?
Hey, what's up, guys?
Oh no, 773. We can't hear you.
Oh, wait, there he is.
What is okay?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Good. I was just saying, I was still dying laughing at the Rollo Jebediah Tomasi by Steve.
Jebediah.
Hey, I got no question. More of a testimony and just calling to hang out with excellent man. So I was at the 21 Patriarch Convention, one of the few young black guys that was there. I got to hang out with all you guys. Rollo, thanks for listening to my.
I think I remember you. Yes, yes. Were you the guy that was in the military, in the Navy?
I think it is him too.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. I know who this. I know who this
that
is.
shirt that I like, 773. Now I know who the fuck it is. That's dude. He's got that shirt that I like.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Hey, man. I'm calling in more to talk about the comment that the guy made about. I guess he thought you guys were too harsh, and I get that. So my comment is more of a plug for getting to the 21 con and getting to know you guys in person.
Sure.
Yeah.
Because seeing you guys in person is there's nothing like it, right? If you are newly unplugged and you're coming and you're watching these shows, you call in and ask a question, it's very easy to be offended, right? Like when Neo first got unplugged and he jumped across the building and it fucking fell flat on his face.
Yeah.
I feel like that's how some of these guys feel. But if they don't know you all and understand what you're really about, these guys are really who they say that they are. Like I got to see you guys like in, what do they say? Real recognizes real, or
in our element
recognizes high value.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly. So if nothing else, I guess what I'm trying to say is seeing these guys in person at the 21 con was amazing. If you can get down to Orlando, I'll be there. So hopefully I see you guys
good,
again.
Man.
All right, good.
There's nothing like being around great men. So thank you guys for a great show. And just keep up the good work.
Absolutely. Hey, leave that shirt at home, man, because if you bring that shirt, man, it's going to get missing.
Yeah, tell everybody your name, man. Tell everybody who you are, man. We love and respect that shit, man. Tell them who you are, brother.
Yeah. I'm case in point on fucking the chat here. I'll post something.
Okay.
People want to know who I am if they want to reach out to me. But
case in point at gmail.com.
As you guys can imagine. So yep.
Good.
Exactly.
Good. Thanks for calling, man. I appreciate it.
Thanks. Hey, you know what? I also I have to drop this plug because Anthony is extending the discount for Poland until Sunday. There's a discount on the Poland tickets. So if you are listening to this from Europe and you really want to go, the discount is going to be ending on Sunday at midnight, I think, Eastern Standard. So if you have any questions about that, email me or hit up Anthony.
Okay, good stuff, man. So Rational Male, and of course, Anthony Dream Johnson. We're gonna go to our last caller of the day, of the night, area code 714. You're our final caller. What you got?
Hey guys, I don't have any questions other than just one, and it's for Rollo, but feel free to chime in and help. And it sounds irrelevant, but I'm really curious. Rollo, you said before that there is women tend to have or to be drawn more to the alpha characteristics for a person during ovulation period, and then after that, they are drawn more to the beta characteristics where they're kind and understanding and all that good stuff. So my question is, what happens after after menopause?
After menopause, yeah, that you want to know why women kind of lose their minds is because they go from that regularity into not knowing what to do with themselves. I have a post. It's called "The Fog of Menopause." It answers a lot of the questions that you're asking right here. So what happens? That the cycle kind of breaks down, but I think it sort of depends on the woman. It depends on, well, first of all, the mental health of the woman, but also the physical health of that woman. Remember that when a woman goes into menopause, it takes a long time. It's not that just say she magically turns into this, menopausal bitch or something like that. And I think we tend to look at menopause as if it's the end of all things, and there's women that are 50 years old that like to have sex. I know. And it's I think if there's any kind of benefit to it, you don't have to worry about unprotected sex. Not that I've had to worry about that for quite some time, but I think it depends. I'm a little sketchy about like my wife is just getting into menopause right now, so I will get back to you on the full story, but I have not noticed anything. I mean, our sexual frequency is still great. She's still, but my wife takes really good care of herself, and you guys have seen her before, so I don't know. I think it kind of just depends on the woman and just the life she's led up to that point. Remember, the chickens come home to roost at some point. And so if your woman's like overweight or she's a smoker, or there's a lot of factors that contribute to actually going through menopause and having it be something that's detrimental to the woman. But in the end, remember that menopause is sort of Mother Nature giving up on women. And I know that sounds real harsh, but like, look at the things that happen to women during that time. They get bitchy, they get aggro, their hormones are gone because the regularity of those hormones in that cycle is now gone. So, and then they're getting hot flashes. They're more prone to osteoporosis or whatever. There's a lot of different things. Read the essay that I wrote. I got into that, but really what it is it's Mother Nature giving up on a woman who is no longer a reproductive viability. So that does a number on women. That's the best I can put it.
Okay. All right. I guess that'll be
Thank you, Rollo.
You got it.
Well, I cut him off. Yeah, my bad.
Now seriously, go look up. It's called The Fog of Menopause. Just search that on the Rational Male. You'll find it.
Just real quick, if we can address this, because I didn't realize that. And again, big thanks to Lloyd Rivera. Says, love the work, guys. Awesome workshops at the 21. Don and Steve, when you called your wife, it was epic. Yeah, that was, dude. Me and Steve did a workshop together. It was absolutely epic. Devin was in the room. She was in the back corner trying to look as much like the wall as she could to just remain invisible. She was there to refill my water. And of course, Steve famously called his wife. It was unbelievable. It was great. It was definitely, it was the talk of the day for sure. Let's talk briefly.
Can I do something real quick?
Yeah, what you got?
I'm gonna call my wife right now.
Oh,
call her right now and tell her to hang up. Watch this, guys. I'm gonna show y'all what respect is. Check this out. Unscripted respect. Watch this. I'm gonna do this is what we did at the 21 convention. Right now, you can hear the wifey. Watch this.
Oh, ooh, pardon me.
You better pick up the phone. I'm radio silence killing me. Hey, tell mom to pick the phone up. Oh man.
Fail.
I failed. Mom, pick the phone up.
Steve's got to go now. He's got to go.
Maybe she's hanging out with somebody.
I know, exactly. Hey, Rollo, is that her behind you?
Yeah, right. So Ayesha Curry, and I'm going to read this quote here.
All right.
Because she is catching all sorts of heat, getting support. She said on the talk show, she says, something that really bothers me and honestly has given me a sense of a little bit of insecurity is that, yeah, there are all these women like throwing themselves at him, her husband, Stephen Curry. But me, like the past 10 years, I don't have any of that. She says, I have zero. This sounds weird, but like no male attention. So then I begin to internalize it. And I'm like, is there something wrong with me? So she started to catch a lot of heat. And my take on this, I don't really know that I have a take. I'd like to know what you guys think.
Oh, okay. A lot of people threw this at me, and I had to look up who Ayesha Curry was, to be honest with you. I didn't know who she was, but people threw that video at me. I forget what show it was, but it looked like the black version of The View, and I think Jada Pinkett Smith was on it, and some others. And so that's how I became familiar with this whole thing, is because of that talk show, and some people gave me that clip. So just to put things in context here. And so of course all the girls on the panel are like, "Oh, girl, don't worry about it. You'll be fine. You know, you're as beautiful as you've ever been. You're more beautiful than ever."
She's married to Stephen fucking
Curry. I know. And but the reason she's feeling that way is because she's with Stephen Curry, right? I mean, she's pretty much made, and I don't think any chick at that table, with the exception of maybe Jada Pinkett Smith, wouldn't want to get with Stephen Curry, right? So
yeah, listen. I think Jada would definitely get with Stephen.
Probably want to get with him too,
yeah,
right? So he's made. So
not only an athlete, right?
All right. Well, there comes a point. Okay, remember that attention is the coin of the realm in girl world.
That's
okay,
right.
so there comes a point where you get you win the prize. You won it. She's got Stephen Curry as her husband, right? So now the attention changes because who's going to pay attention to her? Everybody knows she's with that dude, right? So what are they going to do? They're not going to hit on you. They're not going to give you that attention, but she still wants that, because when we talk about dominance hierarchies between men, it's all status, right? And so there's dominance hierarchies among men. Among women, it's attention hierarchies.
Yes.
So who can generate the most attention that puts that woman in the pecking order in different ways. And the attraction and the attention of desirable men is way more valuable than just random dudes on Instagram or beta orbiters or whatever. So there's a qualitative difference between like how much, like, it's one thing if you got like dozens of, thirsty betas that are circling you. It's another thing if you've got like 2 or 3 really good looking dudes who are rich and powerful and blah blah blah, and they want to be with you. So there's a quality and there's a quantity that goes along with that, but that is what establishes that self-worth and that the self-worth for the woman, and also for amongst her peers and her peer clutch. So that's what I think she's suffering from. The other thing is she looks a little bit heavier than she has been in the past. So she just had a baby, right? She had 2 babies, didn't she?
Yes, she did.
Yeah. So there's that, and she still wants to feel desirable, but his attention is not enough because she's got that. That's easy. It's remember,
already
scarcity makes the price go up. So if she's already got the attention from a guy who is like a very highly valuable man who has said, hey, basically, you're going to be the mother of my children. So she's got that. What can possibly top that? What guy's going to come in and go, you know what, I'm going to give her some attention, even though I know I'm not going to get laid because she's married to that guy, but I'm going to go and just try to work her up anyways. It's not going to happen, but they still feel that way. And the reason I want to talk about this is because it's this, if you didn't believe me before that attention is the coin of the realm in girl world, this is an excellent illustration of why that's true. So, and then her girlfriends are trying to build her up at the same time. Now she's experiencing this a little bit earlier because she's kind of off the sexual marketplace. She's already with an apex alpha guy. She's already been bred. She's put some weight on, and she's living the dream that a lot of women would love to be involved, but it's still not enough for her. And usually what happens is women, when they get to be about 35 to 45 years old, they complain about feeling sexually invisible, because men stop paying attention to them in the same way as they were used to when they were in their teenage years and into their early 20s and their party years. So they say, well, women, they don't want male attention. They don't want cat calls. They don't want whistles, or they don't want, guys like hangers on kind of thing when they're told, because then they can choose, because remember, they're in their prime sexual selection years at 23 years old. When they get to be 35 to 40, 45 years old, that shifts. The guys that they are hoping will pay attention to them don't want to have anything to do with them. They're right about that. They are sexually invisible, more or less. They are sexually invisible unless they do something extraordinary to keep themselves in shape. Men are always going to be looking for younger, hotter, and tighter, and that's just the way we're evolved.
Listen, she does look a little heavier here, but Ayesha Curry really is pretty. And I'll say this quickly. What this proves to me, I can't really say anything more than what Rollo said. No matter how much value a woman acquires for herself, even when she reaches the top of the tippity top, you are married to Stephen Curry. Stephen Curry is the greatest shooter in NBA history. This guy makes $41 million a year. He is an apex alpha male. But because she's a woman, it is never enough. Rollo, you knocked it out of the park. She loves and values Stephen Curry, to be sure. But because his attention comes easy, she already has it. Not to say that she doesn't value it, but women always want more. No, this just goes to show, guys, no matter how much love and attention and affection and value that you have, Your woman always wants and needs more validation. This is why we tell you the game never ends. I'm never going to be Stephen Curry, so I got to keep my game tight. Stephen Curry doesn't have to keep his game tight. He knows Ayesha's not going anywhere because if she does, she's stupid.
That's a good point to end on here. Is if you're ever asking this question, what do women want? The answer is always
attention, man.
More.
Yes, more.
More. Just more.
There you go. Steve, what you got, brother?
Well, I got two things. This it gets even deeper because today Stephen Curry wrote a message. And I don't know if it's PR, but he said, "I'm proud of you being authentic and putting yourself out there and not being afraid of the potential bullshit nonsense that came at you. Way more positive than negative with all of this. Keep being you. I love you." This is the problem. Rewarding bad behavior. I wish you would have put my business on. I wish you. Wait, hold on, guys. Fuck that. I'm calling the wife right now. One more time. Fuck that. I'm mad now. I'm mad. I'm gonna be Steph Curry. I'm calling the wife.
You know what's funny though is he's doing that, but he's doing that from the position of knowing that any woman on planet Earth would want to get with him still.
Hey, hold on. I got the wife on, baby. How you doing?
Good.
Hey, will you do me a favor and call me a bitch?
I will not call you that.
Will you say I'm a sucker and I ain't shit and I ain't got no spine and you put your finger in my face?
I would not do that, honey.
Can you tell me happy wife, happy life?
That's a load of BS.
Hey, when I try to call you, here's the best before I hang up. When I try to call you and you didn't answer your phone, what were you doing?
Just a little bit ago?
Yes.
I was taking out the trash.
You goddamn right. All right, y'all mean. Hey, dog, I don't play that, but this is what I'm saying, Rollo and Donovan. This is the respect that you deserve as a man.
Right.
You don't have your woman putting your business out on the street or district. You know what she should have said, Rollo? She should have said this. My husband's a great father. He's a loving husband. He's very caring. He's a great man. Show over. That's all she should have said, man.
Very good, man. Listen, this was a great episode. Thank you to Rollo and Steve for making time for this. Big shouts out goes to Sharp Assist, $5. Jeremy with the big $50 super chat. Carlos Miranda, $2. Zenith, we've got Dr. Red Pill, JC, Cam himself, Davey Furtado, Lloyd Rivera. Guys, be sure to tune in tomorrow at 11 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Pacific for the Red Man Group. We're going to talk about something that's kind of been going around the red pill for a little while, and that is truth versus hustle. There's a lot of talk out there about how red pill guys in the 21 convention aren't genuine because we're actually profiting on some of the work that we do. Beware the snake oil salesman, man. Rollo actually wrote his latest post called God, what was it called? Rollo?
It's called False Positives. Go read that if you want a primer for tomorrow.
Yeah, this is going to be a great episode. We're gonna address the haters. So that's gonna do it, man. Rollo, Steve, any last words?
Oh man, just remember, all women want is more.
Hey guys, I just want to say we appreciate all you guys. We appreciate the love. We appreciate the donations. We appreciate the phone calls. Keep them coming in because this is what the show is about. We want to help you become better men. And the only way you can do that is meet us halfway. I just want to say thank you from all of us to you guys.
Very well said. That's going to do it for this edition of Redline. We will see you guys next week. Same bat time, same bat channel.
All right, guys.